FDMG!
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Umar Johnson. I am a certified school psychologist.
Hi, Dr. Umar. I'm so happy that you're my principal. I love FDMG. Can you tell me about the school?
We are going to make history. We are going to shock the world. We are going to transform the entire community, one black boy at a time. In this school, you don't have to worry about special education. In this school, you don't have to worry about ADHD diagnoses. In this school, you will never get a phone call from a teacher or an administrator telling you that your child needs dangerous psychiatric medication in order to get an education.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for your patience. We have technical issues with StreamYard, but everything is working now. Thank you so much for your patience, as always. We got a lot to get into. Okay, shout out to y'all. Let's get going. Love y'all. Let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG it's coming. 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 Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. We got quite a bit to get into. This is part 2 of the series dealing with Umar and how he doesn't care about FDMG. He's given up on this project a long time ago. He strings people along, has been doing so for, at this point, since 2019, since he acquired the abandoned buildings, just stringing people along. We've seen excuse after excuse after excuse. There's always an excuse. And then we're going to see some more excuses today from some recent interviews as Umar discusses FDMG. There is a poll question. I want to encourage you guys to vote on the poll when you have some time. Let me pull this up. I forgot to set up. Yeah, here it is. Okay. The poll question is, what will Umar do next? Because it's always something. There's always an excuse. There's always some drama. There's always some sort of scandal or controversy. What do you guys think Umar will do next? Continue to lie about the certificate of occupancy, dealing with the so-called building inspector who's a Jamaican immigrant and how he's sabotaging, and then that Jamaican immigrant's superior is part of the sabotage, and then that Jamaican immigrant's superior's superior is also part of that sabotage. So will he continue to lie about the certificate of occupancy, that they're holding it all up? Will he come up with another excuse? Will he sell the bundles and move to Africa? And then will he go up to the bundles and beg, which he hasn't really done all that much this year. Very rarely has he gone up there But inevitably, he ends back up there because he always needs money. And it's not money to open up a school. It's money for his own personal lifestyle. Okay. All right. So make sure you vote on the poll. Our goal for likes during this live stream is 400. So if at any point you're in the show, you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds, but it makes a huge difference in the algorithm. Yesterday was a really good show. This is part 2, and I want to get right on into it. So I like to start with an interview that Umar Johnson did on the Chop T podcast, and this was on June 3rd of 2026. By the way, we covered some of these interviews before, and Chop T, he issued a copyright strike. I fought it and won. If he wants to do it again, that's perfectly fine. It's fair use. Okay, he may not understand that quite yet because he's newer and he's not too bright either. I just have to say that, no disrespect. But we're going to get into it either way. And then if he does get it taken down, I'll get it put back up, and then it'll be up here. Okay. Thank you guys again for tuning on in. Shout out to everyone inside the Cookie Crush chat. He going up there now since you said it. He might, Dr. Nana. It's possible. Because he's gonna need some money, but he hasn't this year. This year, out of all of the years since he's acquired these trap banners, we're talking 7.5 years. This year, he hasn't been up there all that often compared to other years. This is the least amount of times throughout the year so far. Now he can change that by going up there more consistently going into the new year. Because what do we have? I mean, we got about 4.5 months, right? Or almost 4.5 months. He could change that, but clearly he doesn't care. Okay, again, I explained this. I got some new glasses too, by the way. Let me see how. Yeah, these are too strong for this. But my other glasses, I'm gonna have to go get those because those actually help with this. Now, if I'm up like this, it's great. These are like reading glasses. Anyway, he hasn't gone up there all that much. Now he could change that by going up there more often. But the thing is that he's given up and he's just not interested. And I've explained this before. That because the amount of money that he receives for FDMG is not what it used to be, he doesn't really bother with it. He can make more money, doing podcasts, or he just goes on vacation, which is his speaking engagements. Recently, he went to Jamaica. We're going to do a whole series on that one too, because that's really, really telling. Really telling. Okay, we'll see. Thank you again, Dr. Nadia, for tuning on in. And Crystal, no block party this year. I remember he said he was going to do it the first year. I think he had one in 2020 and 2021. Then he said he was going to do one in 2022. He didn't have one. I think he proposed in 2023 that he was going to do it. But then in 2024, he said that it's too expensive. It was a waste of money anyway. And he hasn't mentioned it since. At least I don't think so. He may have. Ain't no telling. So thank you, Crystal, for tuning in. What's up, Black Anonymous? Thank you for tuning on in to one of the OGs. Black Anonymous been around, and Black Anonymous was covering Umar way before I even got into, or at least was around, way before I even started covering Umar. So thank you for tuning on in. How's it going, Afro Punk Check? Yeah, I know. It's just, he was upset because he felt like I disrespect. I don't really give a shit. Youngin', you got this clown on your podcast and clout chasing off of a scammer who's a deadbeat. And you got him in your home? What kind of man? So I don't care about that. It's just ridiculous. Youngin'. Thank you, Afro Punk Chick. Anyway, how's it going, Kilo? Okay, let's get going here, everybody. You guys see, I don't play. That's one thing about me. I'm real cool. It's like, but I don't be playing no games. I just don't. I've never been like that. I'm chill. I ain't got no time. Okay, let's get going. How's it going, Nina Boo? Yeah, you can choose all of the above. Just, pick one and then you choose all of them. How's it going, Afrocentric woman? Afrocentric woman for the beginning, too. Okay, let's get going. Here's the first one from June 3rd of 2026. I got to go get my other glasses. 2026. Okay, here we go.
My lost me personally. It's kind of difficult to answer because I've been in my mission since childhood.
Okay, now this is right about Umar likes to talk like this. It's more retrospective. We talked about this, I think it was last week, and he gets into the mode. He gets into this mode, and you can hear it in where did I put those other glasses? That's how you know you get old. You can't even remember where you put your old glasses. He gets into this mode where he's talking about his past, and he really has a backstory that he's concocted. And he exaggerates, and the key word is he embellishes. So the idea and notion that since he was in the 5th grade, he was conscious, that's simply not true. That's not true. Okay. Umar, he loves to talk about his past and he exaggerates everything. It's part of the narcissism and the self-aggrandizing. So that's what he's doing here. What he should have done is got a jersey that fit, because this right here is tight. It looked like he got spandex on. Let me stop. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, if you can get on that medium, as he says, Umar got to put on that medium shirt. Poor Brazil. Brazil can't even breathe. You know that's wrong. Yeah, it's extra medium. All right. Brazil, as Umar calls it. What's up, bro? Brazil can't even breathe. All right, let's keep going. Anyway, we go.
As opposed to coming into it later in life and being able to compare this part of my life with the previous. Mm-hmm. So since this has been life since 9 years old, I would say that I believe that had it not.
Cut it out. It's been life since 9 years old. What are you talking about, Umar? This guy, he exaggerates so much, it's ridiculous. I thought, I had those glasses on. I said, I'm going to put them over here just in case as a backup. I don't even remember where I'll put them. Anyway, here we go.
For the mission, I may have been married sooner because I would not.
It's just foolishness. What you mean you could have been married? So Umar's not interested in marriage. Umar's not even interested in a relationship. That's why he says dating all the time. In dating, it really is a key word for him. Okay? It translates to sex. So whenever you hear Umar talk, you don't hear him talk about relationships, like long-standing relationships. He says dating. You're 51 years old, but you're talking dating, but really dating to him is just sex. So marriage isn't something that Umar Johnson is interested in. He's not interested in commitment. He doesn't have the mental capacity or the emotional capacity to create loving bonds with people so that you can have a loving relationship, let alone get married. So for him to say, I would have gotten married sooner, it's just ridiculous. He's 51. He's about to be 52 in 2 days. Let's go.
I have to judge or study women from the perspective of a leader or an activist. I could just judge or study a prospective mate from the perspective of what I feel I need in my life.
Oh, cut it out. And they need to get this. The Top T did upgrade his setup. I told him he should. I gave him advice and he took the advice. But this picture back here is a little too much, sir. Just a little too much going on. All right.
As I can't, let's take the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
Here he go.
When I date, I'm not just looking at her from my vantage point.
Okay, notice how he says when I date. That just means when he's trying to find women to have sex with.
I'm looking at her from the.
Look at Chop T. Goofy. I feel like you disrespected me. So listen, youngin, you have no clue. Just goofy.
I'm looking at her from the parents of my students' vantage point. Mm-hmm. When the mothers walk into the school and see her as the female face, what do they say?
Right.
When my boys look at her in the school, what do they say?
Now notice how Umar, he's talking as if the school is already open. Okay, the school's not even. He doesn't have students. He doesn't have teachers. He doesn't have a wife. Okay, he doesn't have a traditional girlfriend. He has a harem of women that he runs through. Okay, so all of this is the imaginings of a lunatic who suffers with narcissism and grandiosity, such as, I've been doing this work since I was in the 5th grade, whatever he said. He said 5th grade, just ridiculous. But what Umar's doing here is he's painting this image. It's a fantasy. It's a head movie, as if FDMG is already open, and then when he has his wife there, they have to make sure that the wife represents FDMG well. But Umar doesn't even represent FDMG well. He's a bum from Philly with a tight ass Brazil jersey on. Let me stop.
So it ain't about me no more. And
Jay, what do you mean it's not about you?
because of that, I think I would have definitely been married sooner. I have to be extra careful now, maybe too careful, which is why that's kind of slowed down.
That didn't even make any sense. What slowed down? Getting married? Umar's his way, the way he looks at marriage is like a fantasy Disneyland type of thing, more than anything else. He's being interviewed by Baby Man again. Yeah, it looked like a toddler. But I'm clowning because he want to play games, so I clown him. That's what he get. A little goofy. He's being interviewed by Baby Man again. He's the first human to start preschool and graduate college at the. He graduated preschool and graduated college at the same time. All right. Hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You play games. That's what happened. Thanks, looks like. CJ says, how broken is the Philly school system that he was somehow a principal for even 10 seconds? Well, again, he was in the, was that a charter? I can't remember if that was a charter school. Yeah, I would have to, no, I don't think it is. I don't think it was. Yeah. Umar, he was desperate for him. He needed a job, and there's someone who hooked him up. That's all that was. And they had high turnover anyway. And when I say high turnover rate, Francisco sent me the paperwork on that. And it's ridiculous. So they just was trying to fill the position, and they chose Umar. He was there for about 3 months. That's it. But Umar, he's a megalomaniac. He likes to have power and control. He's actually talked about this. You know, in passing, he's talked about how, you know, he felt like they didn't give him enough power. But that's what Umar always wanted, was power. He wanted power and control. So you put him in a position like as a principal, and he goes ballistic. He wants to control everyone, including teachers. But he was just a hookup hire, if that makes sense. Someone hooked him up, and Umar, he's just not equipped. Now, in terms of the school system, listen, there's great teachers, there's great counselors, there's great principals, vice principals, but there's also horrible ones too. That if any of you guys ever have children that are in the public school system, whether it's charter, whatever, it doesn't matter, public charter or even private school, there will be students, there will be teachers who are not great, and there'll be teachers that are really, and there'll be all it's like a spectrum, if that makes sense. I will propose that Umar, he's never been a teacher, but as a principal, clearly he wasn't great at it, and he only lasted for about 3 months. But he talks to people as if it was a career. No, it wasn't a career. You know. Now, did he have a career as a school psychologist? Yes, he did. It was about 9 years. We can give him some grace and say 10 years. But the second half of those 10 years, it was intermittent, meaning he wasn't working consistently, and that shows on his child support docket. You can see that clearly with what you see listed in the child support docket. So it's a problem. It's a problem. But again, like I said, Umar, he wasn't a school principal for long, but he talks and he speaks as if he had a long career as a principal. No, it's just as Umar exaggerating. The one thing I can tell you about, well, there's a lot of things I can tell you about, but one of the most important things I can tell you about Umar in terms of his character is that he has a tendency to embellish things. And that means to exaggerate things so that it makes him feel look better and look greater. Okay, it's part of the grandiosity and the narcissism. Okay, thank you, CJ. Let's keep going. Here we go.
Time is the biggest sacrifice. I've sacrificed a lot of my time. I don't regret it at all.
Okay, most of Umar's time is not spent on anything tangible or real, including these abandoned buildings of women in Delaware. Cookie Crush Chat, what does Umar spend most of his time doing? Because he spends a lot of time on social media, so we can see what he's doing. What does Umar spend most of his time doing? And the next question would be, is that really a sacrifice? And the answer is no. I'll tell y'all right now, I got to find these glasses, y'all. Yeah, Estevades, he's on podcasts, like he's on a podcast right now. What else though? Podcasts, yeah, eating. What else? Come on, let's go. Yeah, going on podcasts. Sweet D, be nice. There's a whole lot of nothing. Running his mouth. Is that a sacrifice? Eating's not a sacrifice. Traveling a lot. Be highly opinion, absolutely. He spends a lot of time traveling. Now, back in the day, he spent way more time than he does these days, but he still spends quite a bit of time traveling. That's not a sacrifice. That's a vacation. See, when he's up at these trap bandos, that's not a vacation. He has to deal with the reality that he purchased. It was a horrible purchase, and that he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't like going up there, so he's trying to skip town. He's trying to get up out of there, leave his mama behind. So traveling, doing podcasts, that's not a sacrifice. Yeah, exactly. See, but see, Umar, when he exaggerates, he has this sense. He always tries to make himself to be like this martyr. Because someone mentioned that in the interview, it says, yeah, you know, you're like a martyr. And you should see had this little narcissistic smile, because he really feels like he's sacrificing he ain't sacrificed nothing. He's collected millions of dollars. Black people have sacrificed for Umar. What has Umar sacrificed? Marriage? No, he's a male hoe. He ain't interested in marrying nobody. He ain't interested in committed to a woman. What is a sacrifice going to go travel? No, that's his vacation. Podcast, that's just him running his mouth. That's another vacation. See? How you sacrificing time with no job? Well, that's another way of looking at this. See, and there's all kinds of things that Umar could. I was thinking about it before we started this live stream, because this video popped up, and it was they were in a school gym. Like the video starts in the school gym, and there's these children that are sitting in these chairs, and then there's these barbers who are giving free haircuts. Now that's a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice. You mean to tell me Umar couldn't have done something up there and made a sacrifice in Wilmington, Delaware, to give back to that community? What sacrifice has he given? What has he given in the first place? Let's look at it that way. See, Umar's a taker. He's not a giver. He expects other people to give to him and to sacrifice for him. Someone made another comment. Umar, he has a tendency when it comes to Black Friday, or if it's Christmas, or whatever, anytime where people are spending money, he'll say stuff like, you know, you spend all this money on your children and blah, 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 and you shouldn't be, because that's, you know, we're wasting money and we should be putting our money together. He ain't got no money. But then when it's his birthday, he asks for gifts. I heard him ask for gifts for Kwanzaa, which is basically Black Christmas. But he tells Black people we shouldn't be buying Christmas gifts. All right. Thanks, little stuff. Yeah, but that's not a sacrifice. Traveling. Again, he does a lot of time traveling. Hoarding, yes. Okay, that's not a sacrifice. And if anything, that's the opposite of sacrifice. You hold another, just running his mouth. Yep, standing in front. But none of this is sacrifice. I'm going to clean up. Napping. Because he stated that. I have him twice where he says that's like what he does in his spare time. It's like a hobby. He likes to watch horror movies and he likes to take naps. He's lazy. So he gets up on here and he will run his mouth at the FDMG in Ghana. He does a lot of that. Yeah, he does a lot of that too. He talks real bad about people all the time. Sign the pictures. Don't do that, Eric. Yeah, he likes to shop. That's not a sacrifice. And he's shopping with other people's money. Anyway, we go on and on and on. Calling Becky gorgeous. He did. He called that white woman gorgeous one time because he was trying to get the hookup. Yeah, Michael, he likes to sleep. Being nasty. Okay. It's not a sacrifice to be nasty or to turn the heat down. Okay. Looking at himself in the camera phone forever. You guys are hilarious. Forever. Yeah. But that's too part of the narcissist, because the story of narcissist, like he will look at himself, you know, and he gets infatuated. But that's what Umar does. He'll put the camera and you can tell he'll look at himself, you know, he'll be manicuring his hair. All right. Okay. So anyway, you guys see my point. He sacrificed his daughter. Listen, if we want to go there, it's true. We're going to get into that during this series too. Umar has, he's abandoned his children. See, he's a taker. He's not a giver. And if you're a parent, you got to give. And you guys have kids, you know what I'm talking about. Hit the one. And it's just constant. You got to give, give, give. What has Umar given? What is he giving to his children? And yet people think that somehow he cares about their children with this fake funky school called FDMG. It doesn't even make sense. Thanks, little son. Okay. He did give us black crafting credit. I see your point. I see your point. Yeah, shout out to all the parents in the building too. Yeah. Got the gin today. Shout out to all the parents. Okay. All right. I mean, it's a blessing though, and you guys know what I mean. It's always something, and it goes forever. You know, sometimes I say, I wonder if I can put some of these babies back. It's too late. It's too late. All right. Okay. Let's get back to the video. I apologize. I gotta find my other glasses because real talk, I can't see. It's like right on with these, it's right there, but not quite. And I just got these glasses today, and then my other glasses, I can see like right where I'm at right here. What's up, Xenoflux? Okay, let's go.
But a lot of my time, when I look at all the years of traveling and flying and speaking.
See? Then he just proved our point. That's what I'm saying. That's not sacrifice. That's a vacation. That's why he's always trying to get out of Philly. He's trying to get, because his life is trash. I'm talking about his personal life. You know what? Let me ask y'all something. Let me ask y'all something. Is there anyone here who thinks that Umar enjoys being his mother's primary caretaker? Let me let that marinate. Is there anyone here who thinks that Umar, he enjoys being his mother's primary caretaker? Another way we can phrase this is, do you think that Umar would have become his mother's primary caretaker if it didn't benefit him? Because he gets free housing because of Section 8 housing. He's also in control of her finances, SSI, disability. And he also gets control because he doesn't let other family members see his mama. Because you really think about this, excuse me, if you really think about this, what it shows is that him being the primary caretaker of his mother, he benefits from it. I'll propose that he benefits from it more than his mother benefits from it. But let's go back to the original question. Is there anyone here who thinks that Umar enjoys being his mother's primary caretaker? We've never asked that question. I think it's important. Yeah, and that's it right there. Truth, to the logic. That's it. See, if it didn't benefit him, he wouldn't have even bothered. But it benefits him because he has power and control, because he doesn't allow family members to see. She's a possession. Doesn't allow family members to see their loved one. It benefits him because he has a place to stay, Section 8 housing. He's been homeless since 2019, the end of 2019. And then he's in control of her money. So even when he talks about being the primary caretaker, that's not a sacrifice. That's just Umar leeching off of his mama. But does he want to be the primary caretaker? No. Now, another way of looking at this is that if Umar received these benefits, Truth, Truth, and Logic, if he received all these benefits without being the primary caretaker, would he take the benefits? Absolutely. And if you can choose between being the primary caretaker with these benefits and not being the primary caretaker with these benefits, he's going to choose to not be the primary caretaker with these benefits. And that's why he's traveling. He goes to these different places all around the world. He travels, and then he gets random women to come to take care of his mama. You think he wants to be there to be the primary caretaker? No, he's always on vacation. See, being the primary caretaker is the closest thing to having a job for Umar. So he wants to be on perpetual vacation, and that's where the traveling comes in. So that's why when he's talking here, he says sacrifices, but he says, all the traveling and the speaking. No, that's just a vacation. But if Umar could have it his way, he would receive all the benefits of being the primary caretaker of his mama without being the primary caretaker of his mama. He doesn't want to be the primary caretaker, because if he did, he wouldn't be traveling. He'd be taking care of his mama like he's supposed to be. Just like if he was serious about opening up a school, then he would have already had a school open by now. Same thing. All right. Thanks, True Logic. What's up, Dax? Says Madjaw Files is just doing what he knows, being a scammer. Yeah, I don't think I've talked about this. I don't think Umar knows of any other way at this point because he's been living like this for such a long time. He's been living off of black people since at least 2011. That's a long time. That's 15 years. That's a long time. He was in his mid-30s. And I'm just talking about in the black conscious space. He was already causing problems prior to that, going back to 2005 in the UNIA. So we could say 20 years right there. But I'm talking about specifically living off of black people. We're talking 2010, 2011. That's a long time. So I've talked about this. I don't think he knows of any other way because he's been doing this for such a long time. Is there a better way? Yeah. I've given references. He could just maximize on his social media presence. He wouldn't have to be doing all this scamming and scheming. It's not necessary. But because he thinks that this is the only thing that he can do, and in essence, it's the easiest thing. Hold on, baby. It's the easiest thing that he can do. Then that's what he's going to do because he's lazy and he's unwilling to change. Right? Sometimes you got to make changes. All right. Thanks, Daxter. You got to throw in the man, y'all. All right, I hear you. How's it going, Aisha? Aisha says he needs to sacrifice time to build better relationships with his children, especially his oldest. Yeah, and last year he should have done that. He had an opportunity. Did anyone else see the opportunity? I saw the opportunity. I know the situation wasn't ideal, but I saw it as an opportunity. And what he could have done is when she reached out to him last year, and this is his oldest daughter. I think at the time she was 22, but he's been a deadbeat. He's been absent in her life. And he never paid child support on time either. Okay, that's what his court doc, his docket showed that. But what I thought about is that when she initially reaches out to him, he should have just started building that relationship from that point. Keep communicating with her, call her, and then she calls you, you call her, if she asks you need anything, blah, 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 just over time. I mean, it's going to take, as being a deadbeat, it would take a long time. It could take 6 months, a year, 2, 3, 4 years. But if you care about your child, then you're going to do whatever you have to do, right? But Umar doesn't care. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. I saw that as an opportunity, though. Umar didn't. He saw it as a threat. He felt like he was being threatened by his own daughter, even though he's the one that left her. And then he actually stated that she abandoned him. You guys remember that? This guy, he's something else. But he chose not to respond to his daughter, and that's when she decided to come out because she had texted him. And he had texted back, but then at a certain point he stops replying. But what she does is she decides, okay, I'm just gonna tell the business. She came online and told people that she was his daughter, which is true, and that he's a deadbeat and a whole bunch of other stuff. And even still, Umar could have still used that as an opportunity to build a bridge back into her life. And who knows where they would be today? Because that was like about a year and about a year ago, year and maybe 4 months ago, something like that. But that's not the case at all. That's not what happened. Okay, so he spends time traveling because he enjoys that. It gives him access to more women to have sex with. He gets some money. He gets room and board. And he's always looking for room and board. That's why he still stay with his mama. Okay? But being a primary caretaker of his mama, that's not something that Umar wants to do. That's why he doesn't do it most of the time. He's traveling, or he has random women come through to take care of his mama. Building a bridge back into his daughter's life. He's not interested in that because if he was, he would have done that a long time ago, decades ago. He's not interested in that. Okay, he's selfish. It's all about him. That's the narcissism. Okay, thanks, Aisha Beans. Louis Suck says he enjoys the money he gets. Yeah, he does because the money represents power. But I also think for Umar, I don't think I've ever said this. I think the money also represents praise and admiration that, okay, these people are willing to give me this money. And he's so arrogant. It's like they're giving this money and I don't even got to do nothing for it, really. So I think that feeds his ego to it, and there's enjoyment in that. I think Umar really enjoys the ego trip. When people feed his ego, same thing with Chop T. Chop T does the same thing, Goofy. Umar, he likes that. He really enjoys that, So same thing with the money. I think that feeds his ego, and he's been getting money from black people since at least 2010 for a school that doesn't exist. Well, Black Dot said he donated in 2010. I believe him because there's other people that said they donated 2010, 2009, 2008, 2007. Man, I think so. Excuse me, I gotta clear my throat. Well, anyway. Daxter says, Manjal Files is basically a low-life bum. You got receipts. Yeah, that's the thing. Umar, he will get on these podcasts and pretend as if he's made all these sacrifices for Black people. He's doing all these great things, and he's a most requested scholar. He's school psychologist. These are all lies. And that's what the receipts show. It's not like, when I say that Umar is a bum from Philly, literally he's a bum from Philly. The only reason why he's not a bum, like living out on the street, is because, well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, he's living off his mama, and she has Section 8 housing. The other reason is twofold, at least twofold. The other reason is that people give him money for nothing, which is what people do. They give money to bums for nothing. See? And then the third thing I have to mention is that social media. See, if Umar didn't have social media, if he didn't have and if he didn't have social media, he wouldn't be able to get money out of people like that unless he was actually on the corner panhandling. But if he didn't have social media and he didn't have his mama to live off of, he would literally be out on the corner panhandling. That's why when I say he's a bum from Philly, it's a statement of fact. But see, a lot of people who follow Umar, they don't know that he's been homeless since 2019, and they don't know that he's living off his mama either in Section 8 housing. They don't know that. And a lot of them, they think that Umar is he's a school psychologist or a school principal. No, he's not. If he's a school psychologist, school principal, you should be able to look that up and find it. And I've issued the challenge to Umar Johnson followers for years now that if you can give me receipts that Umar Johnson is a school psychologist anywhere or a school principal anywhere, whether that was in 2023, 2024, 2025, or 2026, or going in 2027, I'll cash app you $100 or PayPal you $100. Just make sure you provide the receipt. And then I'll come up on here, issue an apology and a public retraction, and I'll include that in the documentary. But they can't do that because he lies about these types of things over and over and over again. And that's what the receipts show. See? But a lot of people, especially Umar Johnson followers, they haven't done their due diligence. And these podcasters, some of them know, but they just ignore it because they want to get views. Okay, well, that's on you. Okay. Thanks, Daxter. Lewis Suck also says, here in New York, there's a program where a family member can act as a nurse aide caretaker for an elderly family member and get paid weekly from the state. Don't know about Philly. Well, see, this is the thing, Lewis Luck. I believe that Umar is getting paid for it. Someone will say, well, wouldn't they just garnish those wages from child support? Yeah, but Umar has different aliases. Remember we talked about that? I can't even remember how many it was. I have them all written down, and there's more than what I have archived. I think I have that on the main. Yeah. I have that in my notes for the timeline. Yeah, it's in the timeline document. But I can't remember how many it is how many aliases he has right now off the top of my head. But we've talked about that in the past. He has a whole bunch of them. So even on his child support docket, you'll see that if I pull it up and showed you guys, he uses different names. And other things. So let me just be clear. He has different names, but he also uses different parts of his full name. And he also sometimes uses derivatives of his government name that he had when he was a child, which is Jermaine Shoemake. Right. So sometimes you'll see Jermaine. Let me see. Yeah, you'll see Jermaine Johnson, but Johnson that's what he was named after. His father married his mother, and then he renamed the kids. That's later on in life, though. Sometimes you'll see Umar Abdullah or Abdullah. Sometimes you'll see Umar Johnson. Sometimes you'll see Umar Abdullah Johnson. Sometimes you'll see Umar I Johnson, which is Ibn. Okay. Sometimes you'll see Umar Rashad Johnson. These are so his full name is Umar Rashad Ibn Abdullah Johnson. But you'll see it, and the thing is that on paperwork, you'll see he used even his degrees, you'll see different names being used, different derivatives of that. But then he'll also sometimes incorporate his name, or he'll use the name in variants for Jermaine Shoemake. He doesn't use Shoemake, but he'll say Jermaine. Yeah, he'll use Jermaine. The point I want to make is that I think that Umar is getting paid. Actually, both of the women that function as caretakers who've actually come out Okay, because there's more out there. But the ones who have come out to expose Umar, they stated that he was getting paid as being the primary caretaker. And the other thing is, and people say, well, yeah, like I was saying, but wouldn't they garnish that? Well, yeah, but the thing is, he has so many different aliases. Okay, the court has probably had a very difficult time trying to track down, even when he was working, trying to track down where he's working because he may be using different aliases. Umar Shady, I'm telling you guys, it's not just FDMG. He's not just a scam artist with FDMG. His whole life is about, he's a scammer. That's what he does. He's a charlatan. One other thing I want to say, Louis, look. You remember the video when Umar, he's talking, he's sitting in that bum ass chair, the doorbell rings and he gets up and he goes to answer the door. Okay, there's a conversation that's had between him and the caseworker, the social worker who's coming to check on the mama. Now, Umar says that the mama's not there, but the mama's there because the mama's bedridden. He's so shady. He tells the person, oh, she's not here right now. He announces that he's the eldest son, that he's the primary caretaker. And then he says something very important. He says they've extended her hours of care. Why would he tell them that? They didn't ask that information. Why would he tell them that? Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Because Umar is trying to justify. He's trying to justify to the caseworker why it is that he's there at that time as the quote unquote primary caretaker. That's to say that if he's the primary caretaker on record and that there is a record also of hours of primary care, somebody's getting paid for that. You guys see what I'm saying? Otherwise, he would have no need. If he's just a son that's take care of his mama, he don't have to say anything about, oh, they've extended her hours. He wouldn't have to say that because he would just be a son that's there to help out his mama. You guys see my point? So that all of this in particular, that, but also these women who stated that, and I believe them that Umar is getting paid because they were there to take care of his mama. He was having sex with them too, with the women. You put this together and it translates to me that Umar Johnson is getting paid for it. So not only is he getting paid, but he's also living in his mama's residence, which is Section 8 housing. That's a benefit to him. That's not a sacrifice. He's not even there. He's off now. He was in Jamaica. So he's still getting paid. Who's taking care of the mama? See what I'm saying? Anyway. Thanks, Louis. Larry gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Larry. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Tomorrow I plan on I just got to figure out what time. Yeah, I plan on because we've been doing this every week with the members only, and we're covering Cheyenne Bryant right now. I just got to I'll figure it out tonight, okay, and I'll get that up so you guys will know in advance. Thank you so much, Larry, for gifting the 5 memberships. I appreciate that. Sim 6762 sent in 2 jewels. Thank you so much. Says 100. I appreciate that. All right. Dallas says, I heard Umar in Mushmouth, a.k.a. Baba. Leave Baba David alone. Father David. I heard Umar in Mushmouth, a.k.a. Baba David, was crushing cookies in Umar's. No. In Umar's mama's basement. No, there's no basement. I want to say that in the first place. At least when I looked at the floor plan, I didn't see no basement. He should be on Father David's at some point this month because he's usually on there once a month. We'll have to wait and see. I want these. I'm going to go to the rock. I'm going to get the rock. I want the rock on top of me. I said, what in the world? All right. Yeah, Father David, he's an interesting character. He's one of the characters in the Umar Johnson saga. I don't think the Umar Johnson saga would be quite what it is or what it's become without Father David. Okay. All right. Thanks, Dallas. And then Larry says, Umar Johnson is such a waste. We need more Black practitioners in the mental health space. I totally agree. He learned nothing at school and completely threw out ethics protocols in the trash. Hashtag I hate that man. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have ethics. And it's not just as a so-called, he's not even a professional, but let's assume for a moment, we're going to go into Umar Johnson fantasy method. He's an expert or a professional. He has no ethics. You as a professional, you wouldn't be online talking about crushing cookies all the time. Or all the sexual deviant stuff he would talk, the fish tank and all this other stuff, and sardines, not sardines. Is it sardines? Yeah, sardines and Roland Martin. You wouldn't be doing all that. in a Sadie rant. You wouldn't be doing all that. The other thing too is when we talk about ethics and protocols, when Umar does live streams where parents are calling in and giving their child's information and talking about their child's mental health and about their child's diagnoses and all that stuff, you're not supposed to do that either as a professional, but it goes to show you he's not a professional. He pretends to be one. He's not certified. And whatever it is that he learned when he graduated with a PsyD almost 14 years ago, it's not practical in 2026. Like I said, Umar's a bum from Philly. He's not a professional. It's crazy. He claims he has 6. He has 5 degrees. He's always exaggerating and embellishing things. So he says he has 6, but he has 5. Let's say he has 6, whatever. What has Umar done with any of them? Yeah, and again, I'm always fair. From 2001 through 2010, we can give him grace 2011, he used the degrees that he had at that time. He didn't have the PsyD yet, but he used them, and they were practical to a degree. But after that, at this point, it was a waste of money. It was a waste of time. Umar spent, a lot of people don't know this, Umar spent about 20 years pursuing degrees. And then now he reduces himself to like a traveling bum. He's a hobo who begs for money for a school that doesn't exist. All right. Thanks, Larry. And then Lewis Luck says, I wonder what he does when Section 8 comes to do the yearly inspection at the apartment. It can't be junky like that, or it'll fail in the inspection. He also can't be there if he's not on the voucher. He's not on the voucher. He's not. Okay. He is the primary caretaker, though. That's why I've always said, I don't think he's supposed to be living there. But Umar's crafty. He's like you guys know, remember ninjas? Like ninjas, they be sneaking around and shit. That's Umar. He's just sneaky. That's how he is. He's just a sneaky person. So he's always trying to figure out ways to get over. So this is what I think, Louis Sack, is that when they come, he knows when the inspection is going to come in advance. So he gets the place cleaned up. Now, does he do it himself? Probably not. He may do a couple of things, but he probably gets some people to come clean it up. And they clean it up right before the inspections. The inspection comes in. Okay, it looks fine. And they on to the next case. They're not giving that mama any special dispensation. That's just they go, they look in, okay, and they out. They're trying to get home by 5. That's what I think. See, Umar shady. Look, here's another example, Louis Luck. Even when Umar would do tours, I'm sure that there was at least some shit he would try. I apologize. I told myself I'm gonna stop cursing as much, but you guys know, man, I'm too old. I don't give a shit no more. I just don't. You get to a certain age, you're like, whatever. Louis, I think that there are things that he cleaned up, or at least he tried to, before he would live stream so that it wouldn't look as bad as it was. Am I saying he does that all the time? No, because sometimes he's just in Pookie mode. He's trying to get money, so he ain't trying to clean up nothing. He drives the hoopty up to the hoopty. He gets the rental car. He drives up there. He steps out of the rental car and starts live streaming, talking about he's working. Send the donations. Then he starts walking around. But I'm sure that there are times where in advance he'll get stuff cleaned up. I mean, he's done that actually. He's done it. He gets things cleaned up. He'll live stream and attack like he's gotten work done, and he asks for donations. Well, I think he does the same thing when Section 8 comes through. He's so sneaky. Thanks, Louis Luck. And God Little Prince says he's a hobo. No, he is. He's when I say hobo, because you guys remember hobos from back in the day. There was a cartoon character that was a hobo. I can't remember his name back in the day. I think it was on Popeye. But there was a cartoon character that was a hobo. And what hobos do is they're not just a bum. They're like a traveling bum. Okay, and they don't just travel within the city because, they'll travel city to city, state to state. And they just, back in the day, would get on trains. They'll sneak on trains and stuff. Okay? They didn't have a home. They didn't have a job. They didn't, no responsibility. They have responsibility. They don't take care of. Well, that's Umar. You don't have a home. You don't have a job. You don't take care of responsibility. So he's just a rolling stone. He goes wherever he can, but he don't take the train like the hobo back in the day. He is homeless like the hobo back in the day. He would get on an airplane. He'll get in a Uber, as he called it. Umar called this. Y'all remember that hit the one. One time, Umar, he would talk about Uber. He said it was a Uber. I said 6 degrees, huh? All right. No, I'm serious. You get to a certain age, you be like, whatever. Thanks, Gospel Princess. Okay, let's get back to the main video because I've been running my mouth. I got to turn this air conditioner on, and I need to find my glasses. I just had them. He did. He said Uber. Yeah, I said, okay, Umar. Uber Tuesday. Shout out Uber. Y'all hear that? You heard that? You heard that? One time, Sister Vonti, she took Uber and it had a flat tire. Umar was driving the Uber. He said, I gotta be fixing. He said, I'm about to fix this. I had to turn the air conditioner off. It's humid in here. I'm sure wish it would cool down at some point, but my goodness. All right. Stay trained up, says Lenon, at what point do you think Umar deviated from opening FDMG? There was a time he seemed committed, not sure what happened to his master. Okay, this is a good question. I have to say, though, Umar never had a master plan because I think you're giving him too much credit. And I do that sometimes, too. Okay? You guys know, I said Lenon, you're being too nice. Umar never had a master plan because a master plan, it's at least suggests that in the first place, Umar had a plan, but more importantly, that it was extremely and highly developed. It was a highly developed plan. And the plan was constructed so that the end result would be to open up FDMG. Umar never had a master plan. Umar had ideas. He's an idea guy. Okay, he in his own mind, and he has all types of ideas that he just kind of throws out there. So he has like a child imagination, but he doesn't have the facilities to bring the imagination and his imaginings, if you will, into the reality. That's why FDMG doesn't exist as a functional school. So he never had a master plan. He had ideas. I wouldn't even say he had a plan. I think he's had ideas. He still has ideas. Okay, some of them are way off the wall. But the critical question is, at what point do you think Umar deviated from opening FDMG? See, that's a tough question to answer, because if you look at the timeline, you would have to start somewhere to say, okay, there was a time during this, there's a point in time in the timeline where he intended on opening up a school. Okay, and then we would have to identify when that would be. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think that time existed from 2010 through 2019, February of 2019. I'm going to explain what I mean, but I know it sounds weird. I think that when Umar really thought that he could make it happen was February of 2019. Okay, and again, that doesn't make sense because he's been at this for way before that. Well, FDMG was an idea. It wasn't a plan. It was an idea. From 2004, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In 2010, he posts this right here. Promises in 2010 to begin laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black boys, specializing in learning disabilities and disruptive behavior disorders. This will be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. Grand opening September 11, 2013. This is Chestnut Checkers. So we can ask the question, was this a point in time where Umar was on task for opening FDMG? What the research shows is no. Because whatever the groundwork would be, it didn't exist. It didn't take place. And the only other thing that actually took place was him actually acquiring the abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware in February 2019. See, even when he started raising money for St. Paul's, he didn't have a plan for that. He didn't have a master plan. He didn't know what he was doing. He had ideas. But was he on task by 2014 to opening up FDMG? No. 2015, 16, 17, 18, no, because many of those years he's just traveling around. He's doing a lot of traveling, and he's going to abandoned schools. Some of them were in horrendous conditions. I've shown video evidence of that, and there's no reason for him to even be in there. It even makes sense for him to well, for him, it's just to give the illusion of progress so people can keep sending him money. It's not, in my opinion, it's not until February 2019 when Umar finally acquires these trap banners in Wilmington, Delaware, that I think in his own mind, he thought that he's now on task. But from 2010 through 2019, he's just floundering around. He doesn't know what he's doing. But see, what's happened is that from February 2019 to present, what the research shows and what the evidence shows, because it's all documented on social media, and there's also documentation on websites, that Umar didn't know what he was doing. I've said this. I think one of Umar's biggest mistakes was to purchase these trap banners in Wilmington, Delaware. That says a lot because he's made a lot of mistakes. I think one of his biggest mistakes was to purchase these trap banners. Why? Because they're in a dilapidated state in 2019 and they're in a dilapidated state in 2026. And what that does when he purchases them, it actually puts his back up against the wall, because now he has to. Back then he had to show and prove, but he's inept. He doesn't know how to show and prove. He doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't have, as you stated, a master plan. See, I'll just give a quick example. If Umar had, and I apologize, I didn't want to say it, but I'm not feeling well. Okay. If Umar had a master plan, then February of 2019, from the jump, when he acquires these trap bandos, he's hitting the floor running. Okay. We talked about this yesterday. He would have right away. He should have had at least $600,000 left over. Right away, he has the mold remediation team come through. And he's already organized this. Okay, he already put the money down, the deposit, whatever it takes to get started. They've already been quoted a price. They come out, okay, the following week, if you will, and they get started. Okay, people can argue, well, he didn't have electricity turned on yet. Okay, well, then start with that. Day one, Umar doesn't start right away. He doesn't start renovations for like a year and a half. Think about that. Well, that's because he didn't have a master plan. Okay, first thing, I guess, get the electricity turned on. Second thing, get motor remediation. I would think you have to get the motor remediation and just have them use battery-powered lighting. They can do that because you wouldn't have to have the electricians exposed, I should say, to mold spores and mold all over the place. See, if Umar had a master plan, he would have already had all that lined up. See, he would have had at least $600,000 left over, but he didn't have it because he had to run through the money over these many years, since at least 2012, going to 2019. So that's what I'm saying. It's a tough question to answer, but my best answer is that he was never on task for opening up a school from 2004 when he conceptualized it until 2019. Even when he was raising money for the St. Paul's College, he didn't know what he was doing. But once he gets to 2019, I think in Umar's own mind, he thought, you know what, I can pull this off. And then he at least attempted to get on task. But what has happened since is that he's deviated. Every once in a while, he'll give the illusion of progress. He'll paint something here, paint something there. He gets the electricity turned on. He'll get an HVAC unit put up on the roof. But it doesn't really push the project forward. These are just like ancillary things to give people the illusion that he's progressing. But all along the way, since February 2019, he's deviated. As a matter of fact, every time Umar goes on a trip, which is a vacation, it's a deviation. Man, that's a good question. I hadn't thought about it. Thank you for the super chat. And then Truck Talk sent in 10 jewels and says hiding. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get back to the main video. Here we go.
Example, I've been in Nashville maybe about 5 times, right? Mm-hmm. And I've never
it's all vacation.
Fully seen Nashville. Yesterday I was in Detroit. I've been to Detroit probably about 2 or 3 dozen times. And yesterday I went on my first tour.
Yeah.
So even though I visit all these cities around the world, I never get to enjoy them, right? Because it's about the work. I enjoy the work, don't get me wrong, but that personal time.
See, now I'm gonna tell y'all what Umar is doing. He's setting this up because they're in Nashville, and when he's saying personal time, this is just grooming these women. I can already tell what he's doing right here. Okay, watch this.
You sacrifice. So definitely time, marriage. Your life goes so fast when you're activist, when you live on the road. Privacy, you sacrifice your privacy.
See, when you live on the road, hobo.
Like, I don't think I have any secrets.
Now, we know that's not true. Matter of fact, there's a lot of secrets that we've exposed on this podcast, if you want to call it a podcast, on this show. Hit the one. What are some of the secrets that no one knew about until we exposed them on this show? And we don't know all the secrets, so that's why I know Umar's lying. Like I said, his off the field antics, if you will, are far more egregious than his on the field. What I mean by that is that his social media crazy and madness that we've exposed and we've seen and how he behaves and acts, that's just the tip of the iceberg, because he spends more time in his real life, which is trash. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, he's a chronic liar. Yeah. What's up, Black Wolf? Yeah, I know he says his work. It's just vacation. That's all that is. What's up, information man? Golden Child. All right. We conscious. Well, we didn't expose that. That was before. I don't even think I was doing Umar. What was I? No, I don't think I was doing Umar videos back then. When that happened, but I was aware of what was going on. That was wild. Yeah, the third baby. He don't mention the third baby mama. Umar always tells people that he only has 2 baby mamas. Let me show y'all right quick. Here, let me show this. This is from May 22nd of 2025. You guys remember this right here.
To build up this country, okay? I've heard everything you had to say this evening. Now, on top of all of
I know it's low. Just bear with me.
All of us are sitting here. We have all got children ourselves. You targeted one thing for me this evening is the speech that you're making this evening is well and good doing it to us, but it's the children after us that need to be hearing this, because I'm going to be dying and my next generation is my children and everybody else's children in this room, who at the end of the day is not hearing this preaching.
We need to teach them.
Now, I'm going to say one thing to you, yeah? I told my son, my youngest, he's 27 years old, he was raised appropriately, he works, he has a profession, okay?
Oh.
I told him, I'm coming to Birmingham to see you. He said, oh, I said I'm going to see Umar Johnson. He went, no, Mum, you're going to see Dr. Umar. And I said that was great. Then I told him how I watched you the other day on WhatsApp about your honey bunnies, no white bunny, chocolate bunny, which color bunny, and you was promoting all our black sisters. You know what my son said to me? He said, Mum, I understand all that, but and I'm just going to quote what my 27-year-old said to me, who actually knows about you. Well, I don't know what he knows, but what he said was, Mum, why is it, if he's talking about representing the black sisters, and the black sisters, our brothers need to know who we are, and be dating the black sisters in the community, or go and find them in every other race. He said, why is it that Dr. Umar has 3, please let me just say this, right? Why does he have 3 children with 3 baby mothers? And if they're all black queens, why has he not taken one of those queens and made them his absolute queen, and showed the black brothers that no matter what children you have, one of your mothers should be your permanent wife. That's what my son said to me.
That's calm. I got a question. When did I get a third baby mom and a third baby? When did I get a third baby mom and a third baby?
See Umar screaming? And look at how he's standing. He's like a little child throwing a little tantrum. He got his little red, black, and green rag. He's squeezing it real tight. Look at it.
Baby mama, third baby.
All right. Now, I'll show you when you got your third baby mama. Okay. Here's the first baby mama right here. the docket is from 2002 to 2021. Okay, the complaint for support, that's in 2002. That's what I mean by the receipts. Okay, that's the first baby mama. And look at Umar's name. Umar R. Abdullah Johnson. Umar Rashad Abdullah Johnson. You guys see that? Okay. Here's the second baby mama. The complaint for support was filed in 2015. And actually, I think this is actually the third one. I think I got the numbers up here are mixed up. But anyway, 2015. Notice the name is Umar Johnson. This is also the second baby mama went through the Human Services Department to try. This is attorney. They hired an attorney for the complaint for support, and that was in 2015. So if you look right here, complaint for support is 12/23/2015. This is the same person too, by the way. Okay. But they end up hiring an attorney, and so this is still the second baby mama. And then here's the third baby mama. And it's Umar Abdullah Johnson. And this was filed in 2017. And that's what I mean. Yeah, I had it right. This is the third baby mama. And then there's another one that attempted to put him on child support, but was unsuccessful. Okay. So these are Umar Johnson's 3 baby mamas, but he only claims 2 of them. And I think I know why too. Well, there's 2 reasons. One is because, well, I'll tell y'all this. One of the women that he impregnated, when he impregnated her, she was in her early 20s. He was in his early 40s. So all this talk about black conscience, we want to lift black people and all this stuff. No, Umar's predatory. Okay, so yeah, another baby. Yep. We exposed Umar with his mama's closet because people didn't know that he was living with his mama, that he was live streaming out of his mama's closet. We actually figured that out during a live stream. Okay. That was a secret. Umar wasn't telling people that, right? Using Pookie and Ray Ray as contractors, yeah, at least 3 baby mamas that just showed you guys the receipts. Yeah, sleeping and signing the yeah. Women caring for the mother when he's gone. Didn't nobody else talk about that? That was a secret. Umar wasn't telling people about that. We broke that story. What about the munition for these trap bandos last year that was going to get sold at auction? We broke that story. That was a secret. Umar wasn't talking about that, was he? You see? All right. Yeah. Third child. Yeah. Sheriff's cell. That's what just talk about that, Jibby Jamboree. Turn the heat down. Yep. I can't find the original video. I have clips of it, but I don't have the real. I wish I could. I have it somewhere. I just haven't been able. Probably on an old hard drive somewhere. Yeah. When Umar stated in February 2019, he said that he was going to get the lights turned on Monday. He knew the conditions of those trap bandos. The wires hanging all out the ceiling, the circuit breakers all busted up. They got to replace all of that. How about you get electricity turned on? We exposed that too. And the list goes on and on. Yep, child support being in arrears. Such a hard life living off of everyone's money. But the thing is that for Umar, it's the easiest thing that he can do, but it makes his life complicated and it makes his life difficult. And then he's unable to stand on his own as a man. And yeah, there's times where you need help. You take the help, they pass the baton, but then you got to run the race. Umar, he's never done that. He just keeps having the person, Umar's the kind of person, you run a marathon, you help him out, you hand him the baton, and he expects you to keep holding the baton, and then you pick him up and keep running. He can't stand on his own 2 feet and run the race. That's a serious problem. Living off everybody's money, everybody else's money. That's why I don't think Umar cares about, what he spends the money on, because it's not like he has any skin in the game. Yeah. What's up, Damien? Yeah, turn the heat down. Yeah. Yeah, we did expose the bag of potato. 1 word, sardines. Yeah. Okay, let me get out this chat room. Anita sent that too, Jules. Thank you, Anita. What's up, Enterprise says, it's glazed by T. I know, he be glazing Umar. It's glazed by T, leader. I think Umar needs to be arrested and incarcerated in order to be stopped. he will continue to coat and grip his Umartarians. Yeah, it's amazing to me that Umar's lasted this long with what he's doing. It really is. I didn't think it would go on this long. Yeah, but there's people who didn't think that Polite would get away with what he was doing for such a long time, or even Nature Boy for that matter. But Umar, man, I have no idea how he must know some people, but how he's got away with this for such a long time. But you're right too about whatever the T guy. Now he be glazing Umar. He does a glaze podcast. Glaze. Let me start. It is. It is Umar. It's ridiculous. Okay. Thanks, Enterprise. And shout out to Enterprise too for going up there to the trap battles and providing the hardcore evidence that proves that Umar has not finished renovation. It's just a sham. It's a scam. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, no Jen today. I mean, yeah. What are you talking about? Nah, we didn't expose any of that. Yeah, one can of sardines and olive oil. Yeah, man jaw. That's another one. Yeah, that's a secret. We know that. Okay, let me get up out this chat room. How's it going, Matt Cyan? Okay, let me just go down here to the bottom here. Okay, I don't know why they said that. I wouldn't be surprised though. How's it going, Soldier? Salute information, man. Okay, let's get back to it. I don't even know what we were talking about. Did I get to all the super? I think I got. Oh, and then East Point said a lot of similarities between Umar and Malachi York. I totally agree. Yeah. And Umar stated that he's a supporter of Malachi York. He doesn't see him as a victimizer. He sees Malachi York as a victim, which is consistent with what Umar tends to do. Umar tends to defend abusers and then blame victims. But that's because he's an abuser. And he's victimized people all over the world in different ways. Okay. So Umar defends P. Diddy. Umar defends R. Kelly. Umar defends Bill Cosby. And there's other people too. Malachi York. There's other people too that I just can't think of right now. But he has a history of that. I used to think that he does it because he's a contrarian. And he knows that it's going to get people riled up and stuff. Because he likes that. He likes to get people riled up. And so sometimes he says stuff he doesn't even believe. But what I'm led to believe though is that because he's abusive and he has an abusive personality, that he tends to support and defend other abusers. That's what I think. Okay. Thanks, East Point. And I can pull up the video where he shouts out Malachi York. I said that's just a disgrace, absolute disgrace. He wants to. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up. Umar, he says he wants to work with children, right? But he defends Malachi York. Hold on 1 second. Watch this. He even called Malachi York a great leader, a great black leader one time. I said, this guy. Okay, this is the video right here where he says that Malachi York was a great black leader. I don't have a timestamp for it, but you guys have to take my word. But this video right here is, hold on 1 second. This is where he shouts out Malachi York. This is from 2015.
Dr. Umar Johnson, Prince of Pan Africanism. We live. Detroit, Shrine of the Black Madonna, numero uno, #1. I'm out building with the guys.
There we go.
Shout out to the Detroit Nawapian Nation for doing my security.
Yes,
looking out for Dr. Umar Johnson. They have my back. Nawapians all day long. Shout out to Dr. York. You're getting out soon. Hold your head, Elder. Shout out to the whole Detroit area.
Yeah, that's a disgrace right there. Thanks, East Point. Absolute disgrace. But this is the same guy said he wants to cuddle with the kids though, too, though, right? And other things. It's crazy. Okay, let's get back to the main video. Thank you guys, all the super chats, super stickers, and gifts. Thank you guys so much. Okay, here we go.
There's nothing. Yeah. I don't know anything about myself that's not known. My female.
Okay, that doesn't even make sense. I don't know anything about myself that's not known. Okay, All right, and I've edited because there's parts where they talk, but we don't got to get to them. I want to get to this next part. He's talking about the women that host him.
Know anything about myself there's nothing. Yeah. I don't know anything about myself that's not known.
I don't know anything about myself that's not known. Maybe he's saying that's not known by other people, but that's not true. Okay. Ridiculous.
Female hostesses when they host an event.
Okay, hostesses. All right. The female hostesses when they hold an event, and these are the main targets for Umar. And in fact, James sent me. He sent me a screen. Was it a screenshot? Yeah, I think it was a screenshot of a woman that hosted Umar, and you can tell Umar hit it. I don't mean to be talking like that, but we adults, you can tell he hit that. James know what I ain't gonna show it though. I said, man, it's some sad shit.
So let's say you bringing me to Chattanooga, you bringing me to.
Okay, now this is Umar grooming these women now. See, he doesn't say host, right? You guys catch that? He doesn't say host with Baby T. I ain't gonna do it like that. I'll say toddler. He doesn't say host with, host toddler T, meaning the male in the blue shirt is going to host him. No, he says hostesses. Because he wants to make sure he's talking about what he would call the women or the females that bring him out. Now, what he's doing here, he's grooming these women because he wants them to bring him out to a venue. But what he tends to do out there, is these are the women that he targets in the first place to exploit sexually. You guys understand what I'm saying? But if he's unable to get, and this is historically speaking, if he's unable to get that poom poom from them, or that cooch from them, or the JJ from them, he'll start to try to go at the other women who are at the event.
They host an event. So let's say you bringing me to Chattanooga, you bringing me to Knox.
See, again, this is psychological manipulation because this is suggestive. Let's say, okay, let's be clear about this. This is what Mita does. Same thing. It's manipulation. Let's say, hypothetically, if me and you had a baby. Umar actually said that to this Latina young lady one time. You guys remember that? See, these are all people. Someone had mentioned it yesterday. Umar, he uses psychology to exploit people. He does. That's what he's doing here. He's creating a scenario. It's in fantasy land. But what he's doing is he's suggesting to them that they do this. It's a form of grooming.
Nashville, he bringing me to Knox. Say you bringing me to Chattanooga, you bringing me to Nashville, he bringing me to Knoxville. Always.
Okay, now, and I'll give Umar credit. He toes give Tyler T, and he puts him in that too. Okay.
So the host, don't use your own phone number.
Yeah.
Don't use your own email.
He looking crazy.
Because I didn't know people can find out who you are and where you live through your email address. I don't know if y'all know this.
Wow.
That's why you got to be careful about who you give your email to and who you give your number to. They can search your life from a phone number and an email. And I only learned this because of the YouTube and struggle streamer haters.
Yeah.
How they was invading the privacy of my lady host.
Again, notice how he says lady host. Now, I don't know who he's talking about, but I've never done that. My focus has been on Umar.
So I always tell the host, don't create a new email, create a new number. Don't use your legal name. You have to come up with an African name for my events. You will never tell.
Yeah. Now, let me explain something to you guys. Because look at Umar. Okay, this is in grooming mode. Now, he did mention if Tyler T, if he was a host, but then he flips it. He goes right back to the female host because this is all grooming. I want you guys to understand something. Umar is actually setting up a situation wherein he's in control. He's dictating to the women what they should do if they decide to, quote unquote, hypothetically, and he's already suggested it, bring him out to speak. But he's the one who's dictating what they should do. You shouldn't use your own name. You shouldn't use your email. Okay, why would that even matter? If they're sending email to you, how would someone else actually get that email? It doesn't even make sense. But this is about power and control and grooming them and preparing them for what he wants them to do for him. Notice what he says, though. You don't use your real name. You use an African name. I want you guys to be clear about something when it comes to Umar. Umar is about power and control. He's a megalomaniac. He's also a cult leader. And what cult leaders will do, not all the time, but what they will do many times, is that they will give so-called special names to their cult followers. And this is to make the cult followers feel like they belong. It makes it feel special. You know, I have an Africanized name and my leader gave it to me. Well, that's what Umar, he's suggesting this. All this is suggestive. It's a form of grooming, but it's also, it expresses Umar's need for power and control. You guys see what I'm saying here? You use an African name. I highly doubt that these sisters on here that they got African names. So where they going to get the African name from? Hey, Umar, he's going to suggest it. Okay, you take this name. And in point of fact, it's highly likely that some of these women in his cult, in his harem, that he's given them their so-called African name. You're going to be called such and such from now on, because it's about power and control. And it makes them feel special. He's simply grooming. Yeah, that's what it's brainwashing. He's doing, that's what he's doing here. He's just grooming them and preparing them. It's all suggestive.
Don't use your legal name. You have to come up with an African name for my events. You will never tell them what your real name is. You follow what I'm saying? Because they will dig all into your business. It's just the nature of social media. Why don't you share the names of the people who are on the FDMG board with you?
Okay, watch this. Umar, one of the reasons why he's talking about this, because we were talking about this back then, that he doesn't have a board of directors. He's listed as the only one. And so he's going to come up with an excuse as to why it is that he doesn't share that information. But that information should be public record as a nonprofit, the 401c3.
I say, you know why? They have families and careers.
Yeah.
If I share who they are, their lives will be ruined. Because they.
Yeah, he's just lying here. They don't exist. He lies so much. Umar lies so much, it's incredible. They don't exist. They never existed. Umar actually admitted that. You guys remember back in the day, someone had asked, it was something like that, like, you know, are you going to have a board of directors? He's like, no, we don't have a board of directors. We're going to have a council of elders. That's what he said. He's never had a board of directors. He's lying on, I mean, he said that years ago. Several times. I know he said it in 2019. So what he's saying now in 2026, it doesn't even stand to reason based upon what he said back then. He never had a board of directors, but he will lie now because we were talking about it more recently.
Still work for white people. You're right. These haters I got, if I had a career, like if I worked for someone, they would have destroyed it.
Oh, yeah.
If you work for someone, but I thought you said you were a school psychologist. I thought you said you diagnosed children. You said that in 2026, homeboy. What you mean if? Got him. Umar, he diabolical. The poll question, what will Umar Johnson do next? 26% said continue to lie about a certificate of occupancy. 33% said come up with another excuse. 14% said sell the bundles and move to Africa. And 27% said go up to the bandos and beg. Okay, make sure you get your vote in during the live stream. Our goal for likes today is 400. We are at 206. Okay, so if you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that like button. All right, let's keep going.
These people have written to the IRS, the FBI, the State Department of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, notice that he doesn't say who did this, because I haven't done any of that, but he doesn't have, see, Umar's never provided any proof of any of this. And see, it would be to his advantage to say, hey, listen, this is what they're doing to sabotage me and show the receipts. He's never done that.
State Department of Delaware, Attorney General of Delaware, Attorney General of Pennsylvania. I've been audited by the...
He's lying. He's making this up.
Pennsylvania. I've been audited by the IRS.
Mm-hmm. He was about to say the CIA. Okay, if he was audited, Umar, where's the paperwork on that audit? I don't believe he was audited because they would have found out that their forensics team would have found out very quickly that he's a scammer. He lying.
Yes, all because of hate. They've written to the governor, the lieutenant governor.
What? Who are you talking about? Yeah, he does, Sharif. He has a persecution complex. He claims to be the Messiah, but that's part of the persecution thing because sacrifice, Messiah on the cross, all that stuff. Yeah, they are. Anyway, I don't want to speak ill of the young ladies, but I'll talk my shit about Tyler T.
The city council president, the mayor. Yes.
Boy, he's throwing everything out there.
My haters are just as passionate as my supporters.
Yeah.
In the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm. When I put my personal
I go out of my way to protect the identity of people.
Yeah.
Oh, cut it out, Umar.
Because I know what follows me.
Yeah.
And that's why when I date women, I'm like, don't bring that on yourself unnecessarily. If they find out about us, let them find out not because you out there bragging.
See this? Now, he's saying when I date women, not when I date a woman. Y'all catch it? And date means to have sex because there's no commitment. And he doesn't want these women talking. I've talked about this in the past. He don't want them talking because they're going to tell the business. And they may even start talking about how he into all that freaky shit. And how he be running through them in his mama house. Section 8 housing, and it's filthy. And how he be running through these young women too. That's why he don't want them talking. He don't want them talking not because for their safety. He don't want them talking because he don't want his business out there so that he be exposed for what he is, which is a perverted sex fiend who's out here running through these women with reckless abandon. Anywhere from the age of 23 to who knows what. Just pick a number up there over 50 because he'll run through anything. He don't want them telling the business because some of them think that they're the only one. Some of them think that they're the first wife because he says he wants to have two. Some of them think that they're special, but he don't want all of these women, hundreds of them out there, to start telling the business because people are going to realize very quickly. They start sharing stories and who knows what comes out at that point. So Umar, what he wants to do is control these women. Don't use your full name, your legal name. Use an advocate name. Don't use your real email. Okay, don't talk about us dating or us having sex or anything because it's really dating to Umar sex. He's just trying to control things. That's all this is. But remember, he's setting all this up. The premise of this is that if these women that are there, if they bring him out and host him, that's the premise of all this. He's just giving them information and he's suggesting these things so that if they do bring him out, they already know what the protocol is. To keep your mouth shut. Not because he wants to keep you safe, but because he don't want his business out there. And if he wanted to keep you safe, he wouldn't be trying to groom these young ladies anyway, especially with the bumpity bump on his lip, right?
If they find out about us, let them find out not because you out there bragging, because I'm telling you, these people won't stop at nothing.
Yeah.
Once I post some of these clips,
it's gonna go crazy
because you're two attractive women who nobody never seen around me before.
Yeah.
You gonna
see, and there it is. Told you. He's is that predator protocol? He had different protocols for the predation, but this is another one. He suggests in the first, it's suggestive. This is mind control. It's a form of grooming. Brainwashing. It suggests if you guys bring me out as hostesses, such and such, and this is what you need to do, because he doesn't want information getting out, because he knows that his main target when he's brought up, he's been doing this for decades. That's why he went off on SETI. This is precisely why he went off on SETI, because SETI talked about this, that his main target is happens to be the hostess, the women who bring him out for these different events. So he suggested them that if they did it, okay, it's hypothetical, but he's implanting this. It's suggestive. It's subliminal. And then he goes through all of this narrative about how you got to keep yourself safe, but he's telling them what they have to do. Don't tell the business. You're going to use a different name, use a different email, blah, blah, blah. Don't run your mouth. Don't run your mouth. But then he says, and watch when I show clips of this video of these two beautiful ladies. Okay, and there's two things here. Watch this. Number one, he's trying to what we call spit game. He's trying to run game on them, these beautiful ladies. He didn't say that in the beginning. See, why didn't he say that from the start? He doesn't say that because he leads up to that. He grooms them in advance, and then he says these two beautiful ladies. See that? But the other thing is that Umar has a history of this behavior. See, he's messy. Umar's messy. He likes mess, literally and figuratively. But especially when it comes to his dealings with women, he wants to create mess. And in particular, he wants women to get jealous and to fight over him. That's why when he posts pictures on his Instagram page, he doesn't post these pictures when he's all huddled up for the women because, it's a good look in terms of him as a black leader. He does that because he wants to put out there that he's desirable by all these different women, and he wants to make other women jealous of that. And so therefore they become the next pick me. Well, he's showing this picture, but I want to be the next one. I want to pick me, pick me, pick me. Umar is messy in that way. See, that's the difference between someone who is a sexual deviant and ain't got no manhood about him, because men, we don't operate like that. If you single, you see a good looking woman, you think she's nice, you just talk to her. You ain't got to play all these games. And either she pick you or she don't. But Umar is messy. So listen to what he says right here.
Once I post some of these clips,
It's gonna go crazy
because you're two attractive women who nobody ever seen around me before.
Yeah.
See that? You're two attractive women that nobody's ever seen me around before. So what he's suggesting is because they finally see them and they're attractive, people are going to see these women around him for the first time, and they're going to interpret this as some sort of a competition. Not for the men, but for the women who see these attractive women that's never been around him before. But all of this, again, is suggestive because he's suggesting that these black women here are going to be around him. No, they're just podcast hosts. But you see how Umar, he's grooming them. He's creating this whole other narrative. It's a fiction. They're just hosts. That's all they're doing. But Umar got to turn this into some preliminary freak off type shit. And it's two of them. And Tyler T should be ashamed of himself, too, by the way, to have this sexual deviant predator up inside of his house with these two women up in here, too.
These people won't stop at nothing.
Yeah.
Once I post some of these clips,
It's gonna go crazy
because you're two attractive women who nobody ever seen around me before. You're gonna get all the attention you want after the.
Yeah, he's so deviant. And hear that laugh?
He ain't lying.
For good and for bad. Just don't ever use your full name anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Don't tell people exactly where you, anything that can, where you work, your kids.
Something.
Don't do that. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the next stage of my life because I can feel that the universe is bringing the public orator, traveling, professional, activist thing to a close.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been saying this since I think 2017, if memory serves me correctly. It could be 2018. In fact, I'll go find it. Yeah, this guy, he lies so much. He lies incessantly. He don't stop. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, here it is right here. This was 2014. My bad. Man, y'all. This guy, this Umar said this 12 years and 2 months and 2 days ago. If that makes sense. This guy be lying. And you guys remember this video. Hold on a second. Some of y'all may never seen it. This is an important documentary video right here. This is from the St. Paul's College 2014, where he gave an update on the fundraiser for the St. Paul's College. Okay, so this was June 17th. Here we go. And Umar was still trying to present as a school psychologist. That's why he's dressed this way.
Interest in my campaign. However, the school
and he's talking this way too, by the way. Yeah, he's a character. Okay, let me go pull up the part where he actually says this. Okay, a 38-minute, 20-second mark. Here we go.
At the top of list of priorities for me right now. If they don't know me, I'm going to need to scrutinize the request to make sure it's not being generated purely out of a desire to make money off my name, and to make sure that they are serious about helping our people. Up until now, if you call me, you wanted me to speak, I'm there. That's the type of brother I am. I like to help people, but that can be used against you because people can take your kindness for weakness, and I have been taken advantage of by a lot of people.
Yeah, he always playing the victim. Yep, someone said that earlier.
For the past 15 years and especially the past 4 years. So I'm going to cut back. That doesn't mean people won't be able to get me to speak when 2015
Yeah, now when he says 4 years, that's accurate. The other part, that's inaccurate. Okay, he says 15, but he changes it to 4. The 4 is more accurate because that's when by that time, he's not working. 2010, going in 2011, he's not working as a school psychologist. That's when he starts living off of the Black community. He starts to get into the Black conscious space. Okay, people like Tariq Nasheed helped put him on, and that was in 2011. But also Saad Netter helped to put Umar on too.
Around. I can't cut back now. I got a full roster for the fall and winter, and more requests coming in. So people can still request me to speak. But I'm going to look at each request and say, is this a person who's bringing me because they really want to do something for Black people? Are they doing something for Black people? And if they are, I'm coming. If it's someone who I've known for a while, who hasn't helped my fundraiser in any way, shape, or form, I'm not coming. Because you know me too well to have stood on the sidelines during this campaign. I'm not speaking for them or with them. For people I don't know, they still have an opportunity to prove themselves to me as to whether or not I need to be wasting my time. Bottom line, I don't want to be wasting my time traveling to places, giving my heart and soul on that stage, because I give my heart and soul when I speak. I'm giving you my life energy on that stage. I'm not giving my life energy anymore to individuals or organizations who ain't reciprocating back or who are not serious about helping our people. If you're just doing this for edutainment purposes, count me out. And to make sure that they are support if they know me. I'm tired of looking.
Give me 1 second.
I'm not finding what I like. I'm not finding what I need either. I'm finding a lot of people who can put on a real good revolutionary mask to get my attention. But when I get to know them, you're really not about the people. You just wanted someone who was popular for you to be able to stand with and embellish your ego. So marriage ain't at the top of list of priorities for me right now.
See that? It's still not at the top of your list. Even in being in a relationship is not at the top of his list. Yeah, one of these days we got to watch that whole thing because it's a great documentary video because that's the early stages of the St. Paul's College. But Umar, he actually tells some stuff in there that's important, really important stuff. Anyway, there's other videos where he talks about he's going to roll back his speaking engagements so that he can focus on FDMG. I just couldn't find it in my notes here. But he's been saying that it's been at least 2018. He's kind of alludes to it here, but in 2018. But now here he is in 2026, and he's still saying the same thing.
School. So I think the next stage of my to a close.
Yeah.
For the school. Rhetoric, traveling, professional, activist thing to a close.
Yeah.
For the school. So I think the next stage of my life is going to be building these schools all over the world. But then I think the universe also has something else.
See how he says all over the world? He can't even get one done in Wilmington, Delaware.
For me too, but I don't know what it is. It's
that's the narcissism.
All in alignment with saving our people. I just don't know what that other thing is going to be. Because even as great and as important that the FDMG mission is, I don't think that's all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that? He's already given up. We were talking about that. He's given up on this. That's why the title of this video is Umar Johnson does not care about FDMG Part 2.
The reason I say that is because I am too popular globally.
Okay, here he is. This is the narcissism.
For God to just use me to open the schools.
He hasn't opened the school.
Don't get me wrong, that's important. But the popularity I have.
No, the truth is it's no longer important to Umar because he doesn't get the type of money that he did in the past. So this is actually a pivot.
Have is such that I feel it has to be for another reason too.
Okay, do you guys see though what I mean by when Umar's in this mode of it's retrospective, he's talking about the past, but a lot of exaggeration, self-aggrandizing, it's the narcissism. It's like a delusional state, but you hear even in his tone, the way that he's talking, you guys can look out for this. I got to come up with a phrase, the mode that Umar is in when he's talking specifically like this, you know, his cadence, his mannerisms, his vocal inflection, where he's retrospective. He talks about the past, but then he starts talking about the future. I have to come up with a phrase for this because you can actually see this in the Umar Johnson saga at different periods. We've just kind of been seeing it more recently for some reason, seeing it more and more recently. If that makes sense.
I remember I met one of Puffy engineers. He said, "Yo, I'm in Puffy office one day." This is years ago before the controversy. He said, "I was in Puffy office one day and he pulled out his desk and he had Dr. Umar's CDs."
Yeah. What?
Has anyone ever heard Umar tell that story? In all of my research, I never heard Umar tell that story. I don't believe it at all. This is what I mean. Umar's so delusional and he's such a liar. He's a pathological liar, but he's in a very specific, yeah, he's lying. Yeah, Bree Carter, he's lying. Okay. He's in a very specific mode of thinking. We got to come up with a term for this. I'm going to call it the liar's retrospective. The liar's retrospective. I mean, it's closer to narcissism though. So narc retrospective. Okay. Anyway, you guys know. So as we continue with this Umar Johnson saga, this is just something to look out for with Umar. I used to love Transformers when I was a kid. Decepticon mode. Yeah, he's just spinning narratives. Narc narratives. Yeah. Narc narratives. Narcissistic narratives. I think that's it. Narcissistic narratives. Yep. Yeah. So thank you, Afro Puncher. We'll use that one. Okay, narcissistic narrative. So he's in a very specific mode, and it keeps going, and then all of a sudden he says, that Puffy P. Diddy had Umar Johnson CDs in his drawer, I guess. He probably had baby oil. Umar, you so stupid. He had baby oil in there too, I guess. The other thing too is if you notice, Umar says before all the slander, because he always defends abuser. It's not slander. He wouldn't be in jail if it was slander. He wouldn't have tried to pay people out to keep him quiet if it was slander. He wouldn't be in jail anyway. But you see what Umar does? Yeah, the narcissistic narrative. That's what we're gonna call this. Yup.
Yeah. So it's interesting. We got it, pulled out his desk, and he had Dr. Umar's CDs.
Yeah.
He said I was in Puffy office one day, and he pulled out his desk, and he had Dr. Umar's CDs.
Yeah.
Wow. Puffy. Yeah. So it's interesting. We
That is so bizarre. Puff Daddy had Umar Johnson CDs inside of his desk. What an odd thing to say, to come up with. I mean, that's up there with when he said he met Lauryn Hill, and Lauryn Hill kissed him on the cheek and said, "Bye, cutie." This is more, I mean, no, both of them crazy, but this is weird. Why would Puff Daddy, of all people, Umar, anyway. This guy, he's something else. What's up, Michael? Says he practices at least 7 of the seven deadly sins. You're absolutely right. He used to have a lecture called The 7 Deadly Sins. You guys know that? It's an old one of the early Umar. But you're absolutely right. He's lustful. That's why he's always trying to get at these women and always talking sex talk and crushing cookies and hot fudge, pina colada, warm salt, caramel, and honeycomb hideout and Cinnabons and all this other stuff and spilling the milk. He's lustful. He's greedy. I need, give me the money. You trifling black people. You sent me, you only gave me whatever he said, 225. What, I can't remember how much money he said. It's a gang of money. And he's going because he's greedy. He don't give, he takes. He's a taker. FDMG is taking. What is he giving back? Nothing. Not one black child's been educated. He's an extremely greedy person. He's so greedy, he won't even let people see his mama. He's greedy with her. That's his possession. See? Gluttony. Yeah. He has an eating issue. He likes to eat. And he eats unhealthy stuff. Umar will binge. I've seen Umar one time that he had some sundaes, some ice cream sundaes in them big old jars. And he was live streaming and he gulped that down just straight up. And you see it going down. And he's sucking on it. Well, anyway, he got the straw and it's just going straight down. And people were like, you shouldn't be eating that. And you ate that like that. He took the video down because people were going in on him. Okay. There's videos where he's a live stream and he's just eating and he's just stuff in his mouth. He ain't even saying nothing and smacking and shit. He's gluttonous. That's why he puts on the weight and he loses it. We go smoke it off. Oh, the old Zipper ain't got shit on that. I said, I gotta lose some weight this month. He don't say he gonna put the extra time on the treadmill. He's I'll put some extra time on turn his heat down. I know I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that. I'm not taking it back, but I shouldn't do that. Anyway, he's gluttonous. That's the point I want to make. Okay. And yeah, pride, he's an extremely prideful person, but that's because his ego is out of control. He's a narcissist. No humility, he's prideful. One reason why he can't get his life turned around because he thinks he's God's gift. He calls himself the Black Messiah and the Black Christ. It's just pride. It's ridiculous. Delusion too. Sloth. Yeah, he's lazy. One of his hobbies is taking naps. You can't. Listen, I've been telling my wife, and things are about to slow down because I have to. I got a slow thing, and I should have a long time ago. I've been putting it off and putting it off. I'll be talking about that soon. I'm gonna have a whole bunch more time. And one of my main priorities is to get sleep. Because at my age, I can't keep doing and I have the mental power. I can just force my body to just keep going and keep going. But it's just unhealthy at this point. Okay. So I always tell my wife, listen, there's a conspiracy against me so I can't get no sleep. I feel like the universe is conspiring because I need to get 8 hours uninterrupted. I can't even remember the last time I've done that. Umar, on the other hand, and again, I have 5 kids and a wife, and I'm busy. I'm always running. Okay. But Umar, he's lazy. You guys remember when he used to do more live streams out of motels and hotels? See, and that's when in his heyday, when he was doing a lot of speaking. You guys ever wonder why Umar, there would be times when he'd be live streaming and he's literally laying in the bed. Y'all don't think that that's strange? You're supposed to be an alpha male. And one time he was laying in the bed eating Twizzlers. Now, can you guys imagine me live streaming from a hotel motel room, laying in the bed? See, Umar, he's sloth. Wrath, yeah, him in his raging. You guys see him rage. You can look at any of the rants, the SETI rant. You can look at the Zora rant. You can look at the Super Soaker rant. You can look at the fish tank rant. You can look at the rants from last year against his daughter. You can look at the rants last year against his baby mamas. He's sitting in mama closet. He has on a WWF wrestling belt. This guy is nuts. What was he like, 50 years old? Why are you 50 years old? It lies from inside your mama closet, looking all funky, and you got a wrestling belt strapped over your shoulder. You guys don't think that there's something wrong with him mentally? Something wrong with the guy. Who does that? Anyway, you see the wrath with Umar. He's unhinged. He has his emotional regulation. He has a problem with that. He's quick to anger, quick to rage. Remember, I showed you the video where the lady said, "You got 3 baby mamas." He said, "When did I get a 3 baby mama?" Focus. Anyway, and envy. This is the thing. Umar with the narcissist, because Cheyenne Bryant's the same way. They will say that everyone else is jealous of them and everyone's envious of them. But the truth is that they are jealous of other people and they are envious of other people. And that's why they pretend to be things that they're not. And Umar is so envious. He wants to be LeBron James on that level and that achieved. So he takes shots at LeBron James. He wants to be, the biggest one is Barack Obama. He hates Barack Obama. Because he wants to be on that level, and he wanted to have that level of celebrity and acknowledgement from the Black community and praise from the Black community and just seeing him. He wanted to be seen as someone of great importance on that level as the first Black president of the United States of America. That's why Umar spent years, I mean, it's over a decade. He spent over a decade shaming, criticizing, disrespecting and saying all kinds of horrible stuff about Barack Obama. But it's because of envy, nothing more. It's old Umar. He used to do that all the time with Barack Obama. We can put together a whole list of Black people who are Black that are that have achieved that Umar Johnson goes after, and it's just all envy with this guy. So you're absolutely right. I know I kind of belabored this, but seven of the 7 deadly sins: lust, greed, gluttony, pride, sloth, wrath, and envy. And I can pull up video examples of this evidence that would prove this to be the case. And the irony is that he used to have a lecture called The 7 Deadly Sins. All right. Thank you, Michael. What's up, Jay Positive? I haven't seen you in a minute. Says call it the chameleon effect. That's a good one too. The chameleon effect. Yeah. Yeah. But it has to be tied to narcissism though too. But narcissists, they tend to be chameleons. They'll pretend to be any and everything. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good to see you, Jay Positive. What's up, Carlos? Says, would you ever consider speaking with some streaming execs to get a documentary on their platforms? Feels like a great fit with your research. Yeah, I would, but I got to get the documentary done first. And I've been talking about this for a long time. I've been running a plan, and things are going to be changing at the end of this month, and I'll have time to put into the documentary, because the goal now is to get the rough draft done by the beginning of the year, And then between the beginning of the year and February 6th to have the final version ready, because I want to drop it on, oh my goodness, that'd be the 8-year. Oh man, it's amazing how long this has gone on. That will be the 8-year anniversary of Umar acquiring these trap banners. Can you believe that? It's right around the corner. And then once that'll be the YouTube version. I'll probably have another version for members. It'll probably be an extended cut for members only. And then we'll see. I've talked about this in the past, Carlos. What will happen if it happens? What tends to happen? I should say it this way: is that people like Umar, people like Polite, people like Jay Morrison, and even more importantly, the what's the guy? Nature Boy. Once they get hemmed up with charges, that's when the larger society really takes note. Once they get hemmed up on charges, that's when the larger society and so-called execs, they may take note. But then if they're convicted, that's when it becomes like on that level with people who have power and influence, especially in mass media. They'll say, hey, wait a minute, we can use this as a means of making money, and it'll be very profitable. That's why Hulu did. So you guys know this. Most of you guys know this. Hulu did a documentary on Nature Boy, but there were people who were doing documentaries on Nature Boy going way back that have been following Nature Boy for like a decade or so, because he used to be over. I think he was in Mexico for a while, and then but he ends up in Atlanta at a certain point, and that's when everything it reached critical mass. See, so he gets the charges, and then he ends up. See, I'm gonna tell you what I think happened. Once he gets those charges, they started working on the documentary, Hulu. But then once he gets convicted, okay, yeah, now we know we're gonna make some money off of this. So they went full force, and they have a documentary. Well, I think the same thing will happen with Umar inevitably. That if he's ever brought up on charges, that's when people will take notice. They may start working on something, and then if he's convicted, then okay, that's a go. Right. So who knows what will happen later on down the line, because the research is already in order. It's just a matter of time. I have not had the time. It's been 3 months now. I think it's been about 3 months. And trust me, I've tried. Guys, look under my eyes. That's not by accident. But things are going to change. And I've made some tough decisions. And at the end of this month, I'll have time. And then my focus will be to get this document, the rough draft, done by the end of the year. It's going to take a lot of work, and but I'll have time, and I'm going to get it done, and then we'll see what happens. If things reach critical mass with Umar, where he's indicted on something, that's when things will go through the roof. See, like right now, we get good views during the live streams, but in terms of views after, it's not there because Umar's not in the algorithm. But this is across the board, except like if he's on a large platform like our dialogue. But if you look at other people who covering Umar, they're not doing numbers like they used to either, because he's not in the algorithm. People are tired of Umar. They are. But I still got to get the documentary done. I got to get it done. And this happened too in January. I looked at the statistics for January, and the same thing happened, and it rebounded. But who's to say that it doesn't rebound? That the numbers don't pick back up. So that's why for me, what I have to do is I have to get the documentary done, because who knows by next, and I already thought, I had a sense about this, that by February of next year, this is all going to look very much different than what we were accustomed to it looking. I'm talking about specifically with Umar and FDMG. And if I have the documentary done by that time, then it'll open up time and space for me to get into other things, and I'll still cover Umar, but then I'll have other stuff going on to bring the numbers back up, you see. So I have a plan. I'm working it day by day. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And yeah, most definitely that if once the documentary is done, and if this hits critical mass with Umar, he gets hemmed up on charges, and let's say that there are people who are interested in doing a documentary and they want to get resources for me, or research material for me, I would be happy to participate. Right? Okay, thanks, Carlos. Okay, let's see. Anikia, I think. I sent in 10 jewels and says hiding. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then what's up, Brandon? Brandon says before the slander. Yeah, that's what he said. Before the slander, Idi Amin had Umar. Brandon, what in the world? Oh my God! Before the slander, in quotations, right? Idi Amin had Umar Johnson DVDs and wanted to give Umar Johnson a position in his cabinet. Again, this is the narcissistic narrative for Umar. Yeah, Umar. I'm going to share one other thing that I know about Umar. I don't know if anyone else notices this, and if you have noticed this, hit the one. I don't think people have. What Umar tends to do is that he'll create a narcissistic narrative about someone after they've died. Okay, and so he'll come up with the whole fanciful story that he never talked about before. Okay, I met this person on such and such date, and we were talking about Pan Africanism, and they were talking. I'm just coming up with something. They were talking about how they supported Pan Africanism, but because of their celebrity, they couldn't say anything to people. But they told me in confidentiality, and I never told anyone, and blah blah blah. And they wanted this blah blah blah. But the person just passed away. And so what it does is it puts Umar in a position where he can say any type of outlandish shit that he wants to, and there's no way to go back to that person and ask them, is that true? Because the person's already dead. Has anyone else noticed that about Umar? I mean, this guy, he really is. That's what I'm saying. Mentally, this guy, he's something else. Again, that's part of the narcissistic narrative, but he will do that. Okay, there's a couple of people. Okay, Mr. Sticky. Okay. Tasha, yeah, I've noticed this about. Well, I've never talked about it, but I've seen this with Umar when people pass away, and sometimes it's people in the Black conscious space that have passed away, and he'll come up with this narcissistic narrative. And what happens is we're not in a position to go back and verify that with the person that he's talking about, because the person's already dead. Yeah, Umar, he's a trip. Jimmy Jeffrey. Okay. Let's get back to it because we run up against the clock. I want to at least get through this video today. Okay. We'll come back tomorrow with another live stream, and we'll do the second video. I think we'll do the second video, and then I have a whole other series. I think maybe I'll have it a separate series for everything that went on when Umar was out there in Jamaica. Okay, in fact, you know how we were talking about Umar and how he's predatory. What he'll do is what the hostess says. He'll try to target them first because they're closest to the whole situation for sexual exploitation. But then if that doesn't work, he'll go to other women who are there at the. I want to show you guys something, and shout out to James. Some of you guys may have seen this, but this is very telling. Essentially, Umar's really he's gotten reckless with it because remember he did the video where he's in the predator protocol. Well, this is another example. Check this out. Yeah, and for some reason the audio is not playing. Give me 1 second. Yeah, something's going on with my computer. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me see if this works. Okay, it's playing here. Let me download this again. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Okay, I'm downloading it now. All right, let me try this one and see if this one works. But this will be part of the series dealing with Jamaica. I'll also tie this to the certificate of occupancy scam lie, if you will, that Umar's telling about the Jamaican immigrant who's sabotaging FDMG and the certificate of occupancy. I'll tie it all together. Let's see if this. No, it's still not working. Yeah, you guys have to hear this audio. So I wonder why it is that it's doing this. Okay, let's do this. Let's get back to the other video, and I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I know another way that I can do it, but that's going to take some time. Okay, but anyway, we'll get to that in the series that we specifically did with the Jamaica trip.
Get it together.
Okay, here we go.
That's why I went to office one day. This is years ago before the controversy. He said I was in Puffy office one day, and he pulled out his desk and he had Dr. Umar's CDs.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So it's interesting.
Thanks, Brandon, too, for the super. Everyone else, thanks for the super chats and the jewels and the super stickers. Yeah, they didn't believe him either. You can tell they're like, yeah, okay.
We got to get it together. You know, that's why I want this school to hurry up and materialize, because a big reason why we can't serve and organize ourselves, we don't own the institutional space to organize black people. Jay-Z, build a black community town hall for Brooklyn. LeBron, do one for Akron, because we...
So you know how he always wants other people to do things, but these are things that he says that he's going to do, but he never does it himself. Yeah, he said, that's what he said. CDs.
We don't have spaces to organize.
Yeah.
How are you going to organize people without spaces and privacy? We don't have it. Look at China, Asian this, Asian that, Jewish this, Jewish that, Latino this, Latino that. What you have black, where we can come together and talk and discuss our issues without a certain religion being forced on you. We don't have it.
Yeah.
But Umar, his religion up, well, really, it's not even, because see, he has an amalgamation, but central to Umar's conceptualization of FDMG was that it was going to be a religious school, and that Ifa was going to be taught. By the way, someone said that I demonized Ifa. No, I didn't demonize Ifa. Okay. If you want to call it a spiritual system or a religion, and if it's Ifa or Christianity or Islam or whatever else, it can be used for the dark side. And human beings, historically speaking, have done that. Okay, part of African enslavement came through Christianity. Does that mean that Christianity is all bad? No. That means that human beings can corrupt shit. Just like human beings can corrupt Ifa, or human beings can corrupt Islam. There are people who were practitioners of Islam who enslaved Africans too. There were Africans who were practitioners of Ifa who sold other Africans into slavery. So listen, let's be clear about this. I'm not demonizing anything. What I'm saying is that when his orientation towards Ifa is to use it for dark purposes, and that's why his life is so dark. But he will also use Islam, and he'll use Christianity too whenever but does that mean that? No, that's not what I was saying. So I just want to be clear about that. See, historically speaking, it doesn't matter what the spiritual tradition is or system is or religion is, that there are always going to be people who use it for dark purposes. And Umar uses Ifa, he uses Christianity, and he uses Islam, and probably other stuff too, for dark purposes. That's the point that I'm making. And that's why his life is in part, that's the reason why his life is the way it is, and it's not getting better, and it's not going to get any better. Okay, just have to say that. Here we go.
With FDMG, we would have it. The one thing I would like to have been eradicated, I don't know if it's possible, but at least on the road to, is that we need an independent.
See, hear his tone. This is the narcissistic narrative.
International black educational system for our children. And that's where I'm focusing on. So you live in Tennessee.
See him touching on her? This is part of the grooming too. He need to cut his nails. Well, damn, he got his Ultra Beast claws on.
And that's where I'm focusing on. So you live in Tennessee.
What's he focusing on?
Educational system for our children. And that's where I'm focusing on. So you live in Tennessee. If you decide to move to Los Angeles with your children next year, guess what? There's an FDMG in Los Angeles.
Yeah, see, this is all suggestive.
You decide y'all going to Canada. We got an FDMG Toronto.
Yeah.
A few years later, you say, I want to go live in Ghana.
FDMG Toronto?
For a couple of years, we got an FDMG Ghana. We need
this guy. I wonder if these women actually believe this foolishness.
A universal school district for our children that teaches them love.
Yeah. It's never going to happen. It's never. And now he's saying it's going to teach them love. When has Umar ever taught love? Boy, this is deep. When has Umar ever taught love, y'all? This is bullshit. This is crazy. He's one of the most hateful and hate-filled persons I've ever seen. When has Umar ever taught love? It's always something hateful with this guy. All the scandals that he's involved with, all the lying, that's all hate. When does he talk love? Yeah. Boy, Umar, he's something else. But again, he's in his narcissistic narrative, so he's all over the place.
We need a universal school district for our children that teaches them love of self and pride in race.
No, cut it out, Umar. You don't even like black people. You don't even like your skin color. Let's be real about it. Umar's a colorist. He has issues with his skin color. That's why when he went in on SETI, he was calling SETI an albino. Because SETI's a lighter skin. Umar's not even particularly darker. I got a sister who's darker than Umar. What are you talking about? And her skin complexion is perfect. But Umar, he don't feel like that. He don't feel like he thinks that he's so dark and he's a colorist. But that's childhood stuff. That's all that is. He ain't got no love for himself. Listen, Umar, if you had love for yourself, you wouldn't be living in your mama's closet. Real talk. If you had love for yourself, you'd be taking care of your kids and have pride about it. But see, he ain't got no pride about raising his kids and taking care of his kids, but he's prideful about being King Kong, Big Papa, crushing cookies and the poom poom. Anyway. Here we go.
Those are two things where black children are lacking because they don't get any type of racial consciousness, which feeds the low self-esteem of black children.
Yeah, but see, Umar's the one that has the low self-esteem. He's the one, he's projecting here. Okay, this whole FDMG idea, this is really about his own childhood traumas when he was sent away to boarding school. That definitely impacted his self-esteem and his sense of self-worth. And he felt like he wasn't worthy and that his family didn't want him. And he's talked about this. Okay, let's go.
Let me tell you how.
Those okay.
Son or daughter?
Daughter.
Your daughter. You don't.
Okay. Now listen, this is just Umar's trying to get information. He's already, y'all see this? This is the part of the predator protocol. You guys see what Umar's doing? Hit the one. He's already given these scenarios about these women bringing him out. He's told them that they shouldn't use their names. He told them they shouldn't use their emails. He tells them that they shouldn't use his name, their real name. He tells them that they shouldn't use their email addresses. He tells them that they shouldn't talk about where they work. He tells them that they should take an African name. Okay, that's all about power control. He's going to be the one to give them that African name too, by the way. So he's already set up this hypothetical scenario where they're going to be the hostess that bring him out. Okay, this is Umar. This is predator protocol. But then he starts to compliment them, these beautiful women and blah blah blah. Okay, that's him running game. Right? And then you see him right here. He starts reaching over and starts touching on her leg. Okay, that's a violation. Okay, you women in the chat room. Let's say you're sitting and you're a hostess and you have someone on your podcast and it's not your man. It's just some bum from Philly. And he's sitting next to you and he's running his mouth that month. And then he starts reaching over and touching on you. What would you think? It's an invasion of your what do they call that? When people all in your personal, invasion of your personal space. Right? But you see how he's doing this here? This is not uncommon with Umar. He has a history of this type of behavior, but this is all setting things up. And then now he's already done all these other things. He's touching on her now. That's this grooming process. But then now he wants personal information. Yeah. He's pushing the boundary. Shout out to Swagonito. OG. Okay. Here we go.
Any type of racial consciousness, which feeds the low self-esteem of black children. And let me tell you how. You have a son or daughter?
Daughter.
Your daughter. You don't give.
See, now he's touching her arm. Before it was her leg. But see, he's getting personal information too. Yeah, no, this is true. It is. It's an act of intimidation as well. You're absolutely right about this. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good point. Really good point. Thanks,
Your
Tasha.
Daughter. You don't.
Tasha Mita.
Give her no knowledge of self, hypothetically, because I know you do. Daughter. You don't give her no knowledge of self, hypothetically, because I know you do.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
Your daughter, you don't give.
Okay. Yeah. What I'm gonna explain what he's doing. This is really interesting. Yeah, this is a predator protocol.
Which feeds the low self-esteem of black children. And let me tell you how. You have a son or daughter?
Daughter.
Your daughter, you don't give her no knowledge of self, hypothetically, because I know you.
Yeah, see, I've seen Umar do this. He'll say hypothetically. It's suggestive. Okay. But it's also demeaning to her as a hypothetical. Okay, this is an act, like someone was saying, it's an act of intimidation, but it's also an act of devaluation. See, Umar hypothetically is devaluing her abilities as a mother. Okay, this is how he breaks her down. Okay, will it work? Probably not, but he's trying to break her down. And then he's the one who has the school who's going to teach the knowledge of self and self-esteem to her daughter. He's devious with it. And he's been doing this for such a long time. He goes right into, yeah, it's a form of gaslighting too. But you see what he's doing? But this goes all the way back to the beginning. He sets this up in the beginning. See, if you guys bring me out as hostesses, see, that's a hypothetical too. But see, that's part of the narcissistic narrative to create these hypotheticals so that people buy in to his fantasy. It's a hypothetical, but this is his fantasy. But then he's now at a point, he's already been touching on her, but then now he's spinning it to where he's devaluing her abilities as a mother and as a woman, if you will, to break her down. Okay, that's the predatory protocol. Some fascinating stuff. Now, Umar, he's been at this for such a long time. Gut all out with this tight ass shirt on. He need to cut it out. He probably went to the thrift shop. He went to the thrift shop, to the young men's section, the young boys section. He's like, yeah, I need to get me a Brazil. Anyway. Let's go.
Low self-esteem of Black children, and let me tell you how. You have a son or daughter?
Daughter.
Your daughter, you don't give her no knowledge of self, hypothetically, because I know you do. She never been taught about Blackness, Black pride, Africa, Harriet Tubman, Ida B. Wells, Sojourner Truth, nobody.
Okay, real talk, don't nobody give a shit. Okay. It's 2026. People got the internet, you can look that up. Let's be real about it. Umar's the only one that can teach that. People go online and get the information. And Umar, he the one that said he's related to Harriet Tubman now. You need to cut it out. Look at him.
Right? Mm-hmm. She go to school. White girls are calling her names. N-word, picking on her, this and that.
Okay, let's be clear about something. The main people calling other Black people the N-word is Black people. Umar, shut the fuck up. Overwhelmingly. I've heard you call people the N-word. I've called you the N-word too. I ain't gonna lie about it. Okay. I don't want to be a hypocrite myself. You see, I hold myself accountable, but it's true. You know, at least I will tell the truth. Okay. But Umar, you were dropping all kinds of M-bombs on the SETI ramp, so I don't want to hear it. But the main people calling Black people the N-word is Black people. Okay. And in real talk, it ain't even that big of a deal to me. It don't bother me. They can call me one all month, and I'll be like, oh, well, whatever, you know. You call my kids that I might have a problem, and I'll probably tell you, please don't do that. Then you keep doing it, I'll probably curse you out and call you one. But it's not that big of a deal. But the point I want to make is, Umar, listen, let's be clear about it. You call Black people the N-word. I have videos where he's being interviewed, and acting also did he, you know, we shouldn't be using that term. We shouldn't be calling Black people the N-word. But he called SETI the N-word, all kind of crazy N's all over the place. Let's keep going.
If she knew who she was, picking on her, this and that. If she knew pride, Africa, Harriet Tubman, Ida B. Wells, Sojourner Truth.
Yeah, you hear his tone? This is the narcissistic narrative.
Nobody, right? Mm-hmm. She go to school. White girls are calling her names. N-word, picking on her, this and that. If she knew who she was, it could barely affect her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But because you gave her nothing, everything they tell her about herself, she believes it. Mm-hmm. We have to understand how Black children's self-esteem, self-worth, self-concept is being destroyed every day because we refuse to tell them about the greatness of who they are. Yeah. And psychologically, 4 years old.
Yeah. It's a very soft tone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is an argument that people have used. Either one doesn't make me any difference. For instance, if a black person you called me with the ER at the end, I'm not going to trip because it's ignorance. They ain't going to do shit. If they call me with the A, it don't mean nothing to me. They ain't going to do shit. See, so if a white person, you guys would be surprised these days. Most white people, when they use the N word, at least the younger people, they use the A at the end because they're trying to be cool. They don't see too many videos with the hip hop and all this shit. But if a white person called me one with the ER, I'm not tripping. Now, if they call my children, I would probably have something to say, but it's not that big of a deal to me. So I understand the argument, okay? But the way I look at it is that Umar shouldn't be talking, because when he was using the A, he wasn't using the A as a term of endearment when he was talking about SETI. You guys understand what I'm saying? See, that's where the argument falls apart, because calling your child the N word with the A and you're doing it in a malicious way is just as damaging as a white person using the ER. And I've seen plenty of black people using the A to disparage their children and doing it over and over and over again throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the years. Whereas being called with the ER is something that doesn't happen as often. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, most of the time when black people use the A, it's a derogatory thing. Now, in our culture, do we use it as a term of endearment too? Yeah. But as something that's harmful across the board, you hear the A being used to hurt people more than you hear it as a term of endearment. You hear the ER to hurt people, but you don't hear it as often, not even close. Okay, I'll leave it right there. All right, let's go.
By the time a child is 4, this is according to white folks, 4, they know their race and they know how much respect their race gets in the world.
Yeah.
Think about
see how he's continuing to touch her, but he's also pushing that boundary further. Okay, this is a form of grooming. At first, he was touching her on her leg. Then he starts to touch her on the arm. And then now he actually kind of pushes her. He's in his predator protocol here.
And they know how much respect their race gets in the world.
See, now he's pushing her. Y'all see that? You see how he pushed the boundaries? But all of this starts from that beginning when he's talking about if you guys are the hostesses. Predator protocol, in effect. It's fascinating with Umar. Now, I want to say one other thing before we start, because we got 20 more minutes. We're going to go for 20 more. Matter of fact, we can go through the other video because it's shorter. Let's be clear about something with Umar. There was a time when he could contain himself enough to where this type of behavior wasn't as outwardly expressed. He would do things, but not because it's like I don't know what the term is. He's done it for such a long time that it's become so normalized that he feels comfortable with expressing it, and he thinks that people don't notice, and most people don't, but we can see it clearly. Okay, it reminds me when he had the Ethiopian sister and he was grooming her. It reminds me when he was doing, he was going through that event. He was walking through all these different vendors and he was grooming the younger ladies with the predator protocol. It reminds me with the young lady, the young Latina lady that he did the same thing with. Okay, so it's not that he doesn't do it, but I just think that at this point he has a very difficult time because he's thirsty, as he tries to say everyone else is thirsty. He's desperate and thirsty, and he's been running this protocol for such a long time that he thinks that people don't notice it, and most people don't, but we see it, and I see it very, very clearly. Let me see real quick. Let me see. Yeah, that's the word. Umar feels emboldened. He feels unstoppable. He feels as if he's beyond reproach. He's beyond criticism, and that no one's going to see it, and that no one is ever going to call him out, and that he's never going to get caught. But haven't you guys noticed more recently, we've been seeing this more and more with this guy, and we can pinpoint it. He's gotten sloppy with it, but that's because he's emboldened. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Nene. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. He won't stop until she tells him to stop. So that's the problem. But see, I think she's in a. Someone's saying it's like an intimidation factor though too. Okay, he's on their podcast. They look at him, including Tyler T. Shouldn't have Umar on in the first place. Tyler T. When you see this, okay, you see what we're talking about here. Go back and watch the video and see this play out for itself. Okay, and then go ask this young lady or the other young lady, did Umar try to get at you? Did he ask you to come to his hotel room or any shit like that? And if he did, or did he ask you to send pictures or anything like that? And if he did, if you are a real man, you would never have him on again. But you're gonna have him on because you're not a real man, and because you're Umar Johnson Glazer, and because you're clout chasing off of Umar because your channel is trash. And the only way that you can get views is to have Umar on. But at what price, young man? So go talk to these young ladies and see. All right. Real quick, I think we got the audio for this other video. We're going to rewind this down now. Did I get all the super chats too? Let me check. Okay, there's a couple more. Usually Device says Lenon's man jaws can pull a... What are you talking about? Goodness gracious. What is user 225 talking about? Lenon's man jaws can pull a golf ball. What's been going on in the chat? I ain't been in there. This is from earlier. You tripping anyway. All right. Okay, let's keep going. Subliminal message says, hi, Lenon. Which do you enjoy more about creating a documentary, writing the script or editing photos, videos, or something else? It's editing by far. I've stated it that if I can do something as a career, I would do editing, video editing, because I enjoy that and the time goes by. Like I can sit there 12 hours. Like I go use the bathroom and get a snack, but I can sit there and I get so, I don't even know what the word is. You know, I used to be a musician. I enjoy doing that, but because I have a family, most musicians have to travel and do that. So I couldn't do that. But if I can just do video editing, oh, I love it. In fact, I have it on my list right here to find a tutorial, and they have them. Not a tutorial. Yeah, it would be a tutorial, but they have certifications for Adobe Premiere. That's what I use. I use Adobe Premiere, and I've been using it. I was thinking about this today. I've been using it since probably around 2007. I would think it was probably, yeah, it was about 2007. And back then my computer would crash all the time, you know, because I had an old computer. And then when I would render or export, it was a rendering process, but to export a video, it could be like a 5-minute video and it'd take like 2 hours. If I had a 45-minute, I would start it at night and go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and it'd still be rendering. And then I would have to wait a couple more hours and then finally would finish. And back then, if you push play, you couldn't do anything. You have to push stop and then do editing, or do it. But now you can actually push play and be doing stuff while it's playing. You know, so there's all these different upgrades compared to how it was back in the day. But the thing I enjoy the most by far is video editing. I like script writing too. Editing photos, editing videos. Color correction, I enjoy that too. It's tedious work. Also, I like the sound engineering too. Because there's videos that I've played in a documentary that if you listen to the original video, the audio is really, really bad, but I know how to go in and clean things up. I enjoy that too, but by far it's video editing. So I was thinking about picking up a certification just so that I can learn more in Premiere Pro. And I may do that because I'm going to have some time after this month is over with. And I got other stuff on my list too. Including AI, like some AI tutorials. Anyway, thank you, Subliminal Messages, for the super chat. I appreciate it. You guys see how I get excited when it comes to this type of stuff. Yeah. Thank you. UG5 says, Umar Johnson Brazil shirt is a souvenir after the Brazil. All right. Okay, that's enough. let's keep going. Goodness gracious. Oh, I got the audio for this. Thank you, UG5. I got that. Let me play this for y'all because this is kind of like, I don't know what we would call this. It's like an indicator of things to come. when we get into Umar out there, when he's out there in Jamaica. Check this out.
Stop playing with me on the camera.
Okay, you hear what he said? What she said? Listen carefully.
Stop playing with me on the camera.
Okay, anyone from the islands, can you translate that? Somebody, no, not an omen. It's really foreshadowing. That's it. That's what it is. Afro-fucking, you crazy. An omen. Okay. What's up, Sonia? Says Umar is going to come across the wrong woman and she will cuss him all the way out. If he wasn't Dr. Johnson, what decent woman would want him? Yeah. But you know, the truth is that there have been women that he's exploited and they have come out. It's just that not enough of them have. I'm not saying that to shame them. It's difficult though, you know, because you get Umar and what he will say, like with the fish tank rant. Then you get he weaponizes his followers. It's a cult. He weaponizes his followers against the women that come out to speak against him. And then it makes other women feel insecure. It's an act of intimidation. We were talking about that earlier. But you're absolutely right. If he came across a real one, they're not playing no games like that. But I'm gonna say something, Sonia. I think Umar already knows which ones to mess with and which ones not to. Because he's been at this for a very long time and he's predatory. Predators, they're going to go for what they perceive to be the weakest link. It could be like 1,000 caribou, but they'll pinpoint one, and they said that's the one we're going to go after, and then that's the one that they pursue. Umar's the same way. He knows who to mess with and who's not, and every once in a while he'll mess up. He gets too bold with it, and that's when the women put him on blast and all like this conscious stripper and all this business is out there, and he crashes out. But I think he's very careful. You know, I think he's careful about who he selects and the process through which he implements to kind of get them caught up and get them into his snare. He's predatory in that way. Yeah, it's a good point. Okay. Thank you, Sonia. And thank you for being a member for 6 months. But I just thank you, just period, because, I appreciate you. Okay, everybody else too. Okay, let's keep going. Let me place. So did anyone translate this? Because she has a little bit of an accent.
Stop playing with me on the camera.
It sounds to me like she said, "Don't stop playing with me undercover." Cover? Yeah. Anyone in the chat room know? Because I was responding to Sonia. Oh my God! Some of this I can't even read. This. Undercarriage, is that what she said? What does that mean?
Stop playing with me on the camera.
I don't know. Oh, on the camera. Okay, that's what it is. But you see, something already done happened with these two. If y'all hit the one, okay, and listen, that's what I thought, but I ain't gonna say it, Dr. Nate. We all adults, but that's what I thought. Yeah. Let me let it play. See, I already think something already happened, and he just,
Stop playing with me on the camera. Dr. Umar is so out of order, guys. He is so.
Yeah, they got kids right behind. She all pressed up on him. This boy, I'm telling you, this is crazy. Yeah, that's what she said. Yellow man, no. Let's keep going.
Out of order, guys. He is so out of order.
See that? She's telling the business, actually. Yeah, listen. If y'all think, listen, I don't mean to be like that, but if you think he smashed, hit the one. I think he did already. All right. That's why he feels so comfortable in this scenario right here.
Can I go now?
Yeah. Yeah, he won't. What's up, James? He won't let her go, and she don't want to be on the camera. But see, he's possessive. I think he already done smashed, as we used to say. I apologize, but I think he already done hit it. I apologize. I think he already got the poom poom, and he feels as if she's his possession. She don't even want to be on camera. She's asking him, "Can I go now?" That's wild.
Can I go now?
Yeah, boy, I didn't notice that. Like this, she's in distress. That smile is like.
Greetings from Kingston, Jamaica. Dr. Umar has visited us here in Trenchtown, and we want to big him up. We want to thank him for being a real community leader, down to earth. He was just boxing with our students, and we want to thank him for visiting Jamaica on Marcus Garvey's Earth Strong. I started a new Jamaica of Peace in 2015, August 17. So it's very...
Actually, I think when she says, "Can I go now?" I think maybe she's asking, "Can she talk now?" Let me go back.
Guys, he is so out of order.
Yeah, you notice, Umar, this all feeds his ego. And then he's sharing it on social media too.
Can I go now? Greetings from Kingston, Jamaica. Dr.
Yeah, I don't know, because it sounds like when she says, "Can I go now?" she pauses as if she doesn't want to be on the camera. But and he's holding her so that she can't get away. So I think she just starts talking. It's real awkward.
Greetings from Kingston, Jamaica. Dr. Umar has visited us here in Trenchtown, and we want to big him up. We want to thank him for being a real community leader, down to earth. He was just boxing with our students, and we want to thank him for visiting Jamaica on Marcus Garvey's Earth Strong. I started a new Jamaica of Peace in 2015, August 17. So it's very beautiful to have Doc with us today. I was with him last night when he spoke to over 500 Jamaicans in Tivoli Gardens downtown, and now he's in Arnett Gardens. So it's
that's a good turnout. 500, good for him, because he be having 5 people up here in the United. Or we having 5 people in the U.S.
It's a big deal to really have him on the ground here in Jamaica among the ordinary people, and we just had a hurricane.
Ordinary people, don't look at yourself like that. He's just a bum from Philly, man.
And some of our people are still recovering. Some of our people have not received the donations, you know.
Umar's like, don't bring up donations.
And it's good for Doc to come and really show us support and love and help us build a new Jamaica of peace.
See, Umar's doing this just to make her uncomfortable. Oh, man. Whew. Well, I tell you, this guy, he's diabolical. Okay, so we'll be getting into, that's like the next segment of all this we'll get into. Let me see how long this other video is. Yeah, let's do this other one real quick, because it's only 8 minutes, and then we'll be up out of here. So this is from August 17th of 2026.
Our children are not conscious. They're not financially savvy, nor do they have enough opportunities to learn how.
Yeah, Umar is not economically savvy. He's not anyway.
Financial literacy is something that every Black child should receive, and they don't.
If Umar had financial literacy, he would never purchase these trap bundles in the first place.
In addition to that, the opportunity to earn a honest living.
Okay, which he doesn't do with the job or via his social media. I've already explained how you can do it on social media. He can make way more money on social media.
For summer job, after school job.
Yeah, this guy.
College. A lot of our children are unemployed, which forces them into the
Umar's unemployed.
Criminal life.
And he's engaged in criminality too, by the way.
Was a report that came out from the Department of Labor a few years ago, but it said that the Black child has the most difficult time of any population in America of finding a job, and that many businesses would rather hire illegal immigrants who don't speak Spanish before they hire a black child. So economically, our children are devastated. Academically, they're also devastated. Special ed is ravaging our community. It continues to. ADHD, the psychiatric meds, continues to ravage the community. On top of that, they're not being taught how to survive white supremacy. They're not being taught how to build independent black communities. They're not being taught how to
Umar hasn't done any of this.
Work together for the best interests of their people. And this is important because
again, this is all downgrading black children. But the thing is that Umar doesn't work well with others, period. Okay, if I ask people, including Umar Johnson fathers, I've asked you, okay, who does Umar work with? You can't give me any names. Okay, what he does is he goes to different venues, to different places around the world. He goes in, he gets paid, he talks, he gets paid, and he crushes some cookies, and then he leaves. That's it. He doesn't do anything. He's not building anything. He runs his mouth. Okay, we're almost done. The poll question too, but let me close it out now. The poll question is, what will Umar do next? 26% said continue to lie about the certificate of occupancy. 34% said come up with another excuse. 14% said sell the banners and move to Africa. 25% said go up to the banners and beg. What do I think Umar's going to do next? Okay, I don't think he's in a position to move to Africa right now because of his mama. I don't think he needs to come up with another excuse quite yet. He will at some point, but I don't think he will do that anytime. He could, but I don't think he will anytime soon. Go up to the banners and beg or continue to lie about the certificate of occupancy. I'm going to go with, it's going to be either or. I'm going to go with, he's going to go up to the banners and beg. And we'll see. Right? And while he's there, he may talk about the lie about the certificate of occupancy and say, hey, listen, we need to raise money so that we can get this lawyer because we got to take him to court. Okay, we'll see. Let me close out that poll. Thanks everyone who voted on that. And make sure you hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. We're going to be here for another 5 minutes, okay? Let's finish up with this real quick. And shout out to everyone in the Coopers. I think you got so much. Oh, did I miss the super? Okay, hold on a second. No, I didn't see any more. Yeah, the last one I saw was this one. Yeah, I got that one. Let me scroll up because maybe I didn't want to read it. Oh, no, I got that one. I got that one too. No, I didn't see another one. I apologize. I'm looking. Yeah, I don't see it. I didn't see any other ones. Okay, let's finish this up. Here we go.
Number one job of a school is to socialize. The school's job is to make sure all children of the village can work together for the benefit of the village. Our children are the only children who do not have a socialization process. They're not taught how to work together for the village. In every other community, they're taught how to cooperate for the village. Black children are taught how to cooperate for somebody else.
Wow.
This is why we're always fighting. We're always at each other's necks. We cannot get along. We can't even agree on what spoon to eat from for dinner.
That's ridiculous. It's all negative when he talks about black people. I know. You hear what I'm saying? Umar, he always, but let's be clear about this. When Umar says socialization, he's talking about cult indoctrination. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about education. He's talking about cult indoctrination, and that's the socialization process. And that's what happens in cults. They socialize people through indoctrination and manipulation. That's what he wants. Not education. He ain't talking about that. He's something else.
Thing is a fight, right? What coffee we going to drink is a fight. And that's because
cut it out.
We are educated to work against our own best interests.
He's so negative about black people. Yeah, he don't work with others. What's up, Domo? Umar don't work with others. Who do Umar work with? Umar hates on black people more than anyone. He sure does. I've been telling people this for years. If you listen to Umar, listen, I don't think anyone, and I could be wrong, but I don't think anyone's watched as many Umar Johnson videos as I have. Okay, I have videos that no one's seen before that I've downloaded, and they're offline now. They don't even, old stuff. If I did an analysis of Umar whenever he talks about black people, what is the percentage where he's talking negative? It's going to be about 99%. You very rarely hear Umar say something positive about black people. He's negative. And yet he's supposed to be a black leader. Okay. Yeah, he was rude to Tariq and said he couldn't work with anyone. He could have made a gang of money with Tariq. Both of them. If they had joined like Voltron and kept it together, they would still be making a gang of money to this day together. Get Umar on there running his mouth. See, but Umar don't know how to work well with people. And then he gets jealous and then he gets envious. He was envious. He still is of Tariq to this day. Baba Hogan said, do you think he would make a good Starfleet? Come on. I'm actually insulted by this one, okay? Because I take my captain shit with the Star, I take it seriously. Do I think that Umar would make a good Starfleet captain? Absolutely not. I'm offended. Okay. I think I would be a good one. I think I'll be a good one. I think Edward would be a good one because he's in the sci-fi. User 225, nah. Anyway, no, I don't think Umar would make a good Starfleet cap. I don't even think he would qualify, to be quite honest with you. He put in an application, they look at it like, nah. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. I like that. Anything sci-fi, I like it. Someone said USS PayPal. These are the voices of the Starship PayPal. Its continuing mission to get that donation and to crush those cookies. Space. The internet. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship PayPal. Its continuing mission to boldly go where no thumb has gone before. Let me stop. Yeah, it gives a whole new meaning to beaming in. Beam me in, Scott Egg. Oh no, where's the baby oil? Oh, Captain, I can't find the baby oil. All right. Oh no. Somebody said the USS couple of dollars. I can see that all painted on the ship. Couple of dollars. Umar be sitting in his bum ass chair. It'd be lights on it on the chair, on the armrest. Okay. You guys are crazy. All right, let me get out this chat room. Baba Hogan says, who would be his first officer? I don't know. Who would be Umar? Let's assume Umar gets a ship, okay? The USS PayPal. Who would be his second in command? That's a tough one. Tip to Griff. I'm going with Tip to Griff. I mean, you can say Sharon, Pilar, but I'm going to go with Tiff DeGriff. I know Tiff DeGriff don't rock with him like she used to, but I can see her because she'll be causing havoc on the bridge. Anyway, yeah, I know Miss Broadway, maybe. That's what I think, Swaggle. It'd be Tiff. I'm sorry, Tiff. Let me not do that. You guys be nice to Tip the Grip. Somebody said Captain, I smoked the dilithium. Captain Umar be like, where's the dilithium crystal? Oh my God. I smoked it. And it was good. All right. Well, that'd be a crazy show, wouldn't it? Yeah, you have Gator. Gator would be security. Yeah, Gator would be security. All right. You guys can tell I'm a nerd when it comes to sci-fi. All right. Harry Umar has a whole Vietnam jungle. Stop. What are you talking about? Oh, man. You be going too far. I'm spitting all over the place. I apologize. Let me get out this chat because we got to wind this down. Thanks you to C25. We'll get back. I'll set up a next live stream for tomorrow. Let's finish this up real quick. Okay, I even forgot what Umar was talking about.
And I think until we fix that socialization process, we don't fix anything else. So when I started with the FDMG campaign, right? And by the way, the school is done, been done, but we're fighting with the city to get our final building inspection.
Here he go.
Don't want us to open. So the school is ready and sitting. Because
he lies so much, it's incredible.
Because we need this inspection. But when I started,
she don't believe it. I can tell she don't believe him.
With the campaign, a lot of people asked, why are you starting with a school and not something else? And I said, until you change the way black people think, you don't change anything else about black people, right? Until you fix this, you fix nothing.
Right.
The mind is the greatest of weapons. And if it doesn't work for you,
yeah, but Umar's, I mean, his mentals are way off. That's crazy.
The benefit is working against you. So that's why I'm starting with the school. So we got to build our own schools. I am most disappointed
Here you go.
at Black America for the fact.
See, he's always negative when he talks about black people.
That despite being a $2 trillion people, the richest blacks in the world in terms of take-home income.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, Umar. You take from black people and you don't give anything back. You don't make your own money, not even on social media. How do you have over 1 million Instagram followers? I don't even know how much he has on Facebook, but Instagram. And you ain't making a dime, but you're gonna take black people's money for donations for something, for a school that doesn't exist, and then you're gonna chastise black people for how they spend their money. You don't have a job or a legitimate business. See, Umar, I'm telling you guys, Umar could be making $150,000, $200,000 a year on social media. Within the first year and a half, he would be doing those figures. And he wouldn't even have to be online begging for money for a school where in most of the money he don't even spend on a school. Most of the money he spends on himself. But he's gonna chastise black people because he's always talks negative about black people. These are black who got jobs, or they have legitimate businesses, or both. He's going to chastise them for how they spend their hard-earned money. And then he's been taking their hard-earned money and tricking it off in different ways for the last 16 years. That's diabolical to me. But if you listen to Umar talk, 99% of the time when he's talking about black people, it's negative, including the people who send him money for nothing.
And we do not have any institutions, critical and relevant, hospitals, banks, supermarkets, schools, manufacturing.
There are black schools, there are black banks, there's black colleges and universities. Umar, what are you talking about?
Distribution. We don't have the critical institutions that you need to sustain the people. We don't have them for ourselves. What is our excuse for that? And then people say, well, if we build it, the white man gonna tear them down. But you haven't built it. Right. We celebrate black.
No, you haven't built it. You see this?
Wall Street, that was 1921.
Yeah.
This is 2026. You're more than 100 years since. And we ain't attempted to replicate it at all.
No, it has been attempted. Okay? In fact, he used to go down to a place called Black Wall Street, but it closed down recently. Anyway,
you have more money now than they had back then.
Yeah, no, that's not necessarily true when you account for inflation. But Umar, you don't know that because in addition to being inept when it comes to technology and social media, you're inept when it comes to personal finance and business. That much is clear to me just based upon all the money you've wasted with this FDMG project, this millions of dollars of other people's money. But then furthermore, you're not tech savvy because if you was, you would be making $150,000, $200,000 a year on social media alone. To start, you give Umar a year and a half, he would be making, I shouldn't say to start. You give him a year and a half, he would be making $150,000 to $200,000 a year easy. But he's inept, and he's also lazy. He's sloth.
We are too dependent on non-Black institutions for our survival, and I think it is one of the biggest sources of disrespect for the race.
And then even worse, we chastise people like you who try to build those type of institutions.
Okay, listen, Goofy, Tyler T. If you listen to what Umar just said, he's chastising Black people. But then you're going to turn around and glaze his ass. I apologize. You're going to glaze Umar. And I'm not apologizing to you, Tyler T. I'm apologizing to my audience. You're going to glaze Umar and say that people are criticizing and chastising him when he just spent, I don't know how much time chastising Black people. That's what you call glaze. You're a yes man. You're a male groupie. Yeah, that's what it is.
Institutions. Because I know you get that a lot.
And the reason I think that I and others who try to do independent institutions often get met with a lot of criticism, although we get mostly love. But I think we're met with the criticism because if we succeed, there's no longer an excuse for why we can't do more of these.
Okay, let's look at this though. He's saying if we succeed. He's already admitted defeat. If? What do you mean if? Before you were saying it will happen, 2013, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Now you're saying if. What do you mean if? You're going to take millions of dollars out of Black people's pocket, chastise them on Tyler T's podcast so he can glaze you. And then you're going to come, what's going to come out your mouth? This month, you're going to say if. What do you mean if you're successful? Look at this
See,
lady
once
like,
FDMG opens, you could say to anybody in the conscious community, if he has a school, where's yours?
Okay, but you're saying if. It's a hypothetical. You don't have a school. You have abandoned buildings. But even still, if we go along with your narcissistic narrative and the ramblings of a madman where you're coming up with stuff off the top of your head and hypothetical narratives that are not true, if we want to go there, there are already Black schools, Umar. There are already Black schools out there. So what are you talking about?
Now see that you can do it starting with nothing. So if you're not going to build an institution.
What do you mean starting with nothing? You didn't start with nothing. People giving you millions of dollars. What are you talking about? You've had people offer to do a website for you. You never had an official professional FDMG website. The closest thing you had was drumarschool.com, and it was trash. I can pull up and show you guys the receipts. Back in the day, we used to talk about it and we would laugh. And it looked bad then, but especially in 2026. I can pull up screenshots of it. What do you mean you started with nothing? People giving you millions of dollars. There's people who they offer to give you free chairs. There's people who offer to help you with your video productions and you turned them down. You had people offer to do renderings, video renderings of these trap bandos, and I still have those. I broke that story years ago. You turned them down. You had a brother who offered to put a team together to do all the HVAC stuff and all of the plumbing stuff. And Umar ghosted him when it was time to take action. You guys remember that? What do you mean you started with nothing? Black people was giving you everything to be successful and you tricked it all off. And then you get on this trash podcast and get to run your mouth, chastise Black people for how they spend their money, even though they've given you millions of dollars. And then you said you start with nothing. Cut it out. Be ashamed of yourself.
We don't need to watch.
Yeah. You had people like Lord Jamar offer to get his father-in-law to help Umar too, but Umar was like, I don't need nobody. And here we are all these years. That was that 2018, almost a decade ago. No, it wasn't 2008. That was 2020. Over half a decade ago.
Watch your YouTube channel. That's where we need to go. We got to get so serious, we don't even entertain your thought. If you're not going to build an institution, we don't need to watch your YouTube channel. That's where we need.
That's MT taking a shot at me. Okay. Most important institution that any black man could create in the United States of America is a family institution. That's the foundation of it all. Umar, you haven't done that at 51, and you're not even close. You can't even commit to a woman. You done ran through so many women too, by the way. Nasty. You're a nasty freak. You done ran through so many women. You done ran through at least one of these women up over here. Knowing how you be operating. Tyler T, go ask these women and see if he tried to run game on them after this podcast was over with. Go ask him. The most important institution is to commit to a woman. And if you guys want to raise a family together and go through all of it, the good times, the bad times, the hardships, all of that stuff, and stick together, stay together. Tyler T, have you done that? Are you doing that, young man? Then shut the fuck up then. Umar, are you doing that? Then shut the fuck up then, because that's where it starts. See, there's a lot of these black men, they get to run in their mouth, but in the real world, where it really counts, because you get online and run your mouth all day, but in the real world where it really counts, the most important thing you can do is commit to a woman and raise a family. And if you ain't doing that, nothing that you got to say matters to me, because you just running your mouth. That's what you call a chatty patty. Let's go.
We need to go. We got to get so serious, we don't even entertain your thought process if you're not actively trying to solve a problem in the village.
Okay, the biggest problem in the village in the African American community is the vacuum that exists, and we don't have enough strong black men who are committed to black women raising black families. Everything else that Umar is talking about is irrelevant. This goes for all black, this blackity black talk. It's irrelevant, because if you ain't doing that, then you ain't solving the most basic problem, the most immediate problem that needs to be handled. And it is the most difficult problem too, because it will cause black men to have to rise to the occasion. And you ain't out here living foul, running through these women and creating all these baby mamas. Umar already showed the receipts. He got at least 3 baby mamas. You wouldn't be out here exploiting these young women who are in their early 20s, Umar. And women who are in their 30s and 40s and 50. You wouldn't be doing that. See, but it's easier to say, hey, listen, we need to get banks in schools, because that's all hypothetical. What it really matters is what's going on in your home. And the home starts with the male-female relationship. And if you ain't got that popping off, you ain't got nothing. You shouldn't even be running your mouth. This month, next month, this year, next year, decade, century. And Umar, you the last person that needs to talk. You got some nerve. You don't even take care of your kids. You don't even try to take care of your kids. But you got everything to say about what black people need to be doing. But the most important thing that black men should be doing, you're not even dealing with that, because that's not what you're doing. You're doing the opposite, you male hoe. You are the problem. And then you expect other black men to take up for all the trash you done created in these women's lives. Yeah, these black men, you should be trying to marry these 2 women because there's not enough black men. Well, if you the one creating all these baby mamas, what, we got to marry your baby mamas because you're not committed like that? What kind of foolishness is that? It's foolishness. And then on top of that, you ain't even trying to marry one of them. You out here, quote unquote, I'm dating. What you mean 51, about to be 52, and you dating? Which translates to Umar's mind, sex. But you got everything to say about what black people need, and what black men need to be doing. Cut it out. Let's finish this up. This goofy.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah. He ain't saying nothing. That's why this awkward pause.
I'm digesting what you're saying, and in comparison to a conversation that we had on a previous episode as well about community and selfishness that we have right now.
Umar is the most selfish person you'll ever meet, young lady. You don't know because you haven't done your research. This is plain and simple. You got to do your research.
But I also took combat just a little bit what you said, I think entrepreneurship is very, very high right now in the Black community. But I feel like rather than institutions being as popular, entrepreneurship on a smaller scale is. And I feel like in that way we are showing up for one another. But it just...
Yeah, I think what she's attempting to do is at least try to move the pendulum back to saying something positive about what Black people are doing, because Umar's so negative.
Now we have to figure out a way to escalate it, to make it
bigger. Yes,
to make it bigger.
Because I agree with you. We're doing a very good job in entrepreneurship, and we are showing up for each other in that way. So I want to clarify, because you make a great point.
See, and this is good. You rarely see Umar actually do this. Normally he'll just like, but he's actually, but I think this is part of him. He doesn't want to ostracize the young lady, because in his mind, she's predator material, if that makes sense. She's prey. So I think he's trying to really be diplomatic about this. You rarely see Umar do this, but I can see what he's doing here. He's trying to be more diplomatic. On the surface, it's actually a good look, but I think there's ulterior motives that is associated with this, because he doesn't want to say anything too harsh, because he still perceives her as potential prey.
That I'm speaking of critical institutions. Here's what I mean by that.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Nobody's going to die if your nail salon closes tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to die if his restaurant closes tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to miss school, right? If your beauty supply shop closes down.
Yeah.
So these may be...
Yeah, but they're going to miss school if you don't open your school. What you talking about?
Important, but they're not critical.
Mm-hmm.
You need the bank to invest in the people.
Right.
You need the hospital to save them. You need the supermarket to feed them.
Right.
And you need the school to teach them. And that's...
Yeah, but you aren't doing that. You collected millions of dollars and you haven't done that. So it's a moot point. Anyway.
That's what makes them critical. Mm-hmm. I love the barbershops and the beauty salons, but you can't run a nation off barbershops and beauty salons.
Yeah, like I said before, a nation building starts in the home, and it starts with male-female relationships. That's where it all starts. All this other stuff comes later. And if you don't have that foundation in place, you're not going to be successful. I'm talking about on a community scale, where we're talking about upliftment of Black people. It's simply not going to happen. There's no way. That's why, to a great degree, where Black people are in this country is largely associated with the nature and quality of our male-female relationships. And we can blame that on other people if we want to, but at the end of the day, we have to rise to the occasion. And we either do it or we don't. And if we don't complain about it. And all this other talk, it sounds nice, but you have to start in the home. Umar doesn't even have a home. Umar doesn't have a relationship. He doesn't have a wife. He has at least 3 children in Philadelphia alone, and he doesn't take care of any of them. So all this other talk about banks and hospitals and schools, it doesn't even matter, because fundamentally, Umar can't get the basic thing straight, which is male-female relationships in a family institution. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah. They're important.
Right.
What about the other things? And the reason why I think we have not graduated to the critical institutions is because the amount of accountability, responsibility, and commitment that are necessary to bring them about.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah, but look at you can look at Umar with all of those things. He doesn't do. There's no accountability, no commitment. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah.
Black people are not willing. Going back to the pathological selfishness, we are not.
Yeah, I haven't seen that video, but that I'm sure Umar's just projecting, because he's pathologically selfish.
Willing to delay gratification for 3 to 5 years and have to put my money into this.
Yeah, but what money have you put into any of this? Okay, we're done. What money has Umar put into any of this? Like I said, he don't have a job. He don't have a legitimate business. He could be he could be making $150,000, $200,000 easy on social media. Well, no, I shouldn't say easy, but he could do it if he had discipline. He had a plan, and he worked his plan. He would have to be committed too, and he have to be focused. That's a big thing with Umar. He has no focus. He's all over the place. But what money have you put into FDMG, Umar? Because you don't have any money. It's other people's money. And then you purchase trap bandos and you act like it's success. All you did was by that time, you took roughly 30% of the money that you had received, and you bought these abandoned buildings that are in dilapidated state and still are mold infested then and mold infested now. You tricked off that money. And then the rest of it's a trick off. These buildings are a trick off. But then the rest of the money you spent on yourself. What money have you used from your hard-earned money? Not money that you got by begging and lying about opening up a school. What money have you used as a school psychologist? Oh, wait, you're not a school psychologist. What money have you made as a school principal and you put that into this? Oh, wait a minute. You're not a school principal. What money have you used from doing all of this child psychotherapy over all this time, as you said, 30, 25 years? Oh, wait a minute. You're not a child psychotherapist. Well, what money are you using as the most requested scholar? Oh, wait a minute. You're not a most requested scholar. Y'all see my point? Let's go. We're almost done. 2 minutes.
3 to 5 years for this all-black hospital, this all-black bank. We live in a microwave mindset where it needs to come automatically. It don't have to come automatically for the white man, though.
Yeah, like CashApp, when you get your PayPal, whatever.
White man will have you waiting for that charter school for 10 years, and you will wait.
Yeah.
You know why?
You see what he's doing here? See, he doesn't want to hold himself accountable for the fact that people have been waiting on FDMG now for 16 years. He posted this in 2010. If we want to go by the grand opening date, people have been waiting now for, it'll be 13 years in roughly 12 days. It'll be 13 years. But see, what Umar is doing, instead of holding himself accountable for being a failure when it comes to the opening of FDMG, where he set at least 31 different grand opening dates, he wants to go to the white man now and say that that black people, this is also shaming black people, disparaging black people. Black people, you're willing to wait for the white man to take 15 years to open up a charter school. It don't take no 15 years. Okay. And then let's see what he says next. But you see what he's doing? He's deflecting because he doesn't want to deal and hold himself accountable for the fact that since at least 2010, but really we should say 2013 to be fair, 2013, the first grand opening, we're talking 13 years. It'd be 13 years in a couple of about 11 days. See?
You value him. You value.
Oh, see, because you black people value white people, you're going to wait for 15 years. Did he say 15?
You waiting for that charter school for 10 years, and you.
Oh, he said 10 years. Okay, 10 years.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you value him. You value his service. But when a black person comes along, you need it in a year. You know why? Because I don't really believe in you anyway. And
this is just him. He's deflecting. Instead of holding himself accountable, it's black people's fault. Black people wanted it in a year. Black people never said that they wanted you to open up a school, Umar. That's what you said. So now you're going to blame black people because you ain't fulfilled your promise, which was nothing more than a lie. See, this is deep what Umar is doing here. He's shaming black people now because you guys expected it in 1 year. Have you guys ever seen any black person, including these Umar Johnson donors, who said, we expect this project to be done in 1 year? It's actually disrespectful to his donors. I'm not surprised. But has anyone ever heard that? No. In fact, they've been defending him. Oh, well, I know it's been 5 years, but I know it's been 6 years. It's been 7 years, but I know it's been 10 years, but it's about to be 13 years. And you still got people who still defend Umar. So Umar, don't do that. It's disrespectful to your donors. He's trying to play the race card. It don't even make sense.
In a year. You know why? Because I don't really believe in you anyway. And I don't really trust you anyway.
See, that's Umar trying to play the victim. Narcissism.
I don't trust nobody who looks like me. So you telling me I got to wait?
You see this? This is it's just ridiculous. Oh, he's so hateful towards black people.
5 years to see a permanent product? I'm not going to do it. I don't have that kind of faith in black people. But the white man telling me to wait 20 years, I will.
See, now he's saying 20. You see how he extended it? He's really crafty. He is, but we caught him. Now he's saying 20. Cut it out. Ain't nobody. Black people ain't said, listen, I'm gonna wait for this white person to open up this charter school for 20 years. Their kids will be grown and graduated, going to college or doing something. What are you talking? It don't even make sense. The story don't even make sense, Umar. Yeah, you black people, you're gonna wait for, because you value the white people. You're gonna let them wait 20 years to give that charter school for your kids. But a kid will be, whatever the kid's age is, they're gonna be grown after 20 years. What are you talking about? Some will be 36 by that time. Just like these kids for this FDMG. Some of them kids back in 2010, they was 15. They 31 now. It's so stupid. It's just ridiculous. Y'all realize that, right? Is that right? Did I get my math right? If they're 16 in 2010, it's 16 years, they're about 31, 32. Anyway, finish up. It's like 2 seconds. There we go.
Wait, because he's white.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy. Well, he is something else. He really is. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Ooh, YouTube says 225 praise on Lenon's sanity. How Umar Johnson. yeah. Thank you, 225. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow we'll start tomorrow with the saga for the Jamaica, his Jamaica trip. There's a lot here. There's a whole lot here. Yeah, I think that's what we'll get into tomorrow. And I don't plan on live streaming over the weekend, but on Monday, we'll get back together to do the next. So it'll be part 1 tomorrow, and then we'll do part 2 on Monday. My schedule is going to be changing drastically by the end of this month. And I have running this plan, and we'll see how things go. But my goal is to have the documentary, the rough draft done by the beginning of the year, and then the final draft done by February 6th, because that'll be the 8-year anniversary of Umar acquiring these trap banners. I want to drop it on that day. That'd be powerful, powerful, powerful. Okay, thank you guys again for tuning on in. Thanks to the mods for handling business, and shout out to everyone in the Cookie Crush chat. Thanks for people who voted on the poll. Also, thank you to everyone who sent in super chats. If you sent in super stickers or gifts, thank you so much for your support. And I say that humbly and with great appreciation. Okay. All right. And as we always do,
if you misbehave, you got to come to the timeout room and you're going to get paddled. My beautiful African queens, my butter almond and butter pecan, my caramel, my guave, my chocolate fudge, my African buttercream, my pina colada, my caramel, my cinnamon, my nutmeg queens. If you misbehave, you got to come and get 3 strokes. Oh, yes, with the RBG paddle.
All right, shout out to Black Morrow. That's y'all's principal is the jam. I did the video editing. I appreciate y'all so much. Yeah, we had a good time. Cookie Chat was cutting it up. I cutting up. Thank you so much. Thanks, Street. Guys,
every time I turn around,
oh, just check the archives. Look at the show.
There's another paint day going down.
Thanks, Francis. Thanks for mod too.
Another grand plan. Another promise that began. Talking real big, talking real tall. Got an answer for it all. Everybody looking to see how this story ends.
Yeah, I agree. At it.
School ever opening. One day it's this, next day it's that. Everybody laughing in the Cookie Crush chat. Is this the man that claims to be the boss? Every conversation turns into a cookie-free call. Ooh, the mold keeps growing. Ooh, the grass needs mowing. FDMG keeps rolling on. The Charles Principal. The one who's paddling your mind.
I remember the cabbage chat. Thanks, T-Logger. Thanks,
Every donation is money he steals. Oh,
Michael. Baglito. Thanks, Jay Positive. Good to see you too.
The one with the speech for every occasion. That Charles Principal. Everybody singing while the groove rolls on, trying to figure out what's going on.
Real.
Always an excuse for the school's delay. A different explanation every single day. A cell phone and a park is all he needs when he should be applying for jobs on Indeed. The chat starts booming, the memes start flying. He starts screaming and you know he's lying. Scrubbing toilets, painting mold. Every every year this story's getting old. Losing donors day by day. All donations increase.
Yeah, that's what he said.
The
That's what Umar said. Diabolical.
FDMG keeps rolling on. That's y'all's principle.
This chapter was wild.
The one who's paddling your mom.
Yeah.
Every week another big review. Every donation is money he
They're trying to make cause problems. He's trying to start trouble.
One with the speech for every occasion. That Charles principle. Everybody singing while the groove rolls on, trying to figure out what's going on.
Miguel Haxan.
Now somebody asks one question and somehow gets a 30-minute lesson. Somebody tell me, is this your guy? 14 years and running with this lie. Cookie Crush Chat.
Thanks a kilo.
Is that him? Is that him? That's him. That's him. Is that
I don't
another
know what
live
to say
stream?
about that.
That's him.
Thanks, Sonia.
Is that another speed? That's him. That's him. Is that another explanation? That's him. Well, all right then, Charles Principle. The one everybody knows by name. That Charles Principle. He keeps rolling on, and somehow the life's still holding strong. That Charles Principle. The one who always steals the show. That Charles Principle. A cup to bedtime and a baseline smooth. Everybody laughing and feeling the groove. That Charles Principle. That Charles Principle.
Yeah, I know. Okay. No, I know. Maybe I just need to I know I need to get some sleep. Maybe I was just a little agitated. I kind of went off tonight, but every once in a while I gotta let loose. Okay, thank you guys again. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks for all y'all support too. I love y'all. Take care. Peace.